Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your mediocre time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Yes, it is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
On the couch, bringing you... What are you bringing today?
Oh, I got all kinds of stuff.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot. He's got a lot
so
to
much.
unpack. Bringing you a lot from the Orlando Talk Show, featuring his own name. It is Ross McCoy.
And again, we could scrap everything and talk about figs, and I could still blow your mind.
You know, like I'm not much of a figman.
What about the Newtons?
My dad. Okay, we can tangent this.
Well, it's a cookie.
I don't know if we've ever.
It's a fruit and cake, sir.
Yeah, have
That's
we ever,
canonical.
Have we ever tangented this early? I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
That was my father's favorite cookie. It'll fucking kill you for a fig Newton. My
Salted
dad,
or unsalted?
Unsalted. but that's a great question.
I mean,
that's
you
a
have
good
to
follow.
ask.
My dad loved fig Newtons. He could eat the whole
Sleeve, yeah.
Well, they came in little sleeves, yeah, and they were fucking disgusting. I'd eat them sometimes too. They're fucking disgusting. But my dad loved Dusty Rhodes Wrestling. There's Sweet 16s, powdered donuts, Mr. Donut donuts. That was a place only in DeLand, Florida. It got bought out finally by Dunkin' Donuts. It was Mr. Donut. I have a Mr. Donut t-shirt. Let's see here. Vienna sausages.
Oh.
And then, you know, what you just mentioned.
Fig Newton is fruit and cake.
The delicious fig Newton. My dad, when they came out with strawberry Newtons, my dad was like, you might as well have told him to change his pronouns. You're like, him, strawberry fig Newtons were the he literally, I think my mom bought him strawberry fig Newtons.
Like to try?
No, because my mom's a sweet
Yeah,
woman. You knew
yeah.
her. Like, here,
Hey,
try-
look, they got a new thing of this thing you like.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
You're my loving husband. I bought you strawberry fig Newtons. He didn't eat them. Fuck them. Like they're
gets mad.
Yeah, they're
That's
fucking
awesome.
terrible. Anyway, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you. And let's get we got business?
Yeah, we've got the food truck fiesta this Sunday that Eric is going to be at, and he's going to have the Tom and Dan tent out.
And that's where, like, dudes fuck chicks in a food truck? Is that right?
Can we talk about that now? Can we talk about that now? We have been
And then
wanting.
he's like, get out of here.
No.
It's not my stop.
Do we have to credit that to Sam? Because we were going to do that, right? Or or is that still in the works?
The food truck fiesta?
Yeah. We wanted to name it Food Truck Fiesta.
For that express purpose?
And make it like we were going to make the...
I think I mentioned that name to Paul, and he took it. I'm joking.
No, I thought we were going to do...
It's an insane coincidence.
Yeah, it's an insane cock brother.
It was that or Bang Burritos.
Remember the insane cock brothers?
Yes. Yeah.
Where are they now? Where are the insane cock...
Most likely dead.
Yeah. I feel like right around the time that bum fights were popular, like you and I would go like, hey, we've watched all these bum fights. What's going on with the insane cock brothers?
It is sad that in a world where, like, it seems that almost all information is at our fingertips, you can't follow up with porn stars and figure out what happened. Like that guy with the big bump on his dick, Ramon. What happened to
Ramon.
him? Where's he at now?
I tried to look up Ramon. Yeah,
if he had a Twitter, I would fucking, that would be what I'd check first thing in the morning.
He had a
I would every
marble
day.
under the skin of his dick, and the legend was that it pleased the clitoris.
Well,
I think he was rumored to hit like the G spot with it when he got in there.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah, but I think it was a horrible. I think it was a. Like
No, it was gross. It was disgusting.
It was disgusting.
Oh
it
yeah,
was
it was
like
absolutely should have been
it was
surgically
like an
removed
abscess.
years ago.
I only know G Unit.
Who's G Unit?
Well,
50 Cent?
well,
G.
Ross had talked about G-spots, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I see what he's saying.
Oh, the
he's
food
very
truck.
tired today.
The food truck fiesta
Yes.
is from 3 to 8 now.
Is that more or less time?
It's later in the afternoon because it's hot outside.
Yeah,
so
it is hot outside.
the
So if
time
you
has
just want to
changed.
get to the facials at the end, just fast forward to 8.
Yeah.
Just scroll forward to 8.
Oh, my God.
Fifth.
5th Street Latinas.
So let me
Remember that
ask.
one? Remember little 5th Street?
little niche.
Am I
but
am
yeah.
I
No,
kicking you guys in your nostalgia cockles a little
Yeah.
bit? 5th Street Latinas.
That would definitely be an ad onto the side of something
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
watching probably.
Yeah.
For sure,
And where are these voluptuous grandmas with the short blonde hair that have the saggy titties? I'd still fuck her.
the
But
hot
this-
older ladies
they're
in
hot,
your
but
area,
they're
yeah.
voluptuous, and they're sitting there, and it's just them naked like they're at a resort, and they're like hot grannies. Like, I know we brought it up before, but where is that woman?
Sometimes they're specifically in my zip code,
Yes.
which is scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ross gets them too.
Here's got a real man.
Yeah.
Well, has there ever been a Ross? I'll say right now, Ross McCoy, because he admits real things and is honest, more of a man than Jim Colbert. I said it. I said what I said. I'm
Ross.
spicy today.
Let me ask you a question. This is about being a parent, so you'll
good
understand.
at that. He's good at that.
We baseline established I'm better than Tommy Lee.
It-
Like long ago we established that.
I forgot
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah.
So it was meet the teacher for my
Oh.
kids today.
I didn't want. we jump right into this.
So what kind of meat did you bring him, Tom?
Well,
Here's some
funny you
salami,
ask.
teacher.
I didn't go.
Tom. This is
So-
when I chant your name.
I went last year
Yeah,
and I looked
I've done it.
around.
I've done
yeah,
it.
yeah. And then I said, all right, I see what this is. I think I went the year before. or whatever.
I see what's happening here.
And so
You
anyway,
want me to meet
so
the teacher's a dream.
Crystal, because the vans are kind of disorganized. Crystal this morning, like she has all the brown bags full of all the supplies, and like Crystal went.
Brown bags.
Yeah, I mean, like that's where she puts all the school
The
supplies.
glue
yeah,
and the
yeah.
band- Band-Aids
we didn't have to
and-
do brown bags. We got some hippie teacher. I got good old American plastic bags. Take it or leave it.
Oh, Crystal always requests the paper bags at
Are
the
you
grocery
kidding me?
store. Oh yeah, she don't like plastic.
I have one plastic bag filled with 2,000 plastic bags.
I'll
every
use these
good-
one day.
Yeah, like every good American.
Oh, we've got that too. But
Both of you guys talked to Bart Merrick for like 1 second. You could just be drowning in Bart Merrick cruise bags for the list. So everything you use a Publix bag for now, you can use a Bart Merrick cruise bag real easy.
I still have a stack of 35 misspelled Bart Merrick notepads in my garage.
The summer line edition,
in
that's
my-
my
in
favorite.
my
I like the
garage.
summer line edition.
I'll never need paper again.
so
Bart would probably buy them from me for $50 a tablet. He hates that.
Crystal asked me like, "Oh, are you going this morning?" And I'm
Well,
like,
that's a setup because you're a parent.
no, well,
It's in the morning? That's
yeah.
weird.
A lot of
yeah,
them
yeah.
were. Other parents told Andrea, because ours was last night, and I have a story too that you guys will have to try and make funny. But yeah, we had a couple of friends that had to do theirs during the day. In fact, our buddy Juan
really?
from Twitch, Juan, I believe he had to do his early morning as well. And I was like, wow, that's kind of rough considering, not like most jobs. Let's be honest. Most jobs, if you said that, they'd be like, oh yeah, do your thing.
I mean,
but there are some that won't.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some that would have a problem with it.
Yeah. Any retail is not going to,
No.
like a store, they're not going to
Yeah.
let you not show up.
Yeah, like Journeys.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, you get your ass in here and sell those lugs.
If you work insurance or something, something like, they'll let you.
Anything
do it.
you're on a crew or in a truck with one or two
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
guys, you're messing up a bunch of people's
EJ's,
day.
Oh, yeah.
EJ's
Construction,
actually
not
doing
gonna-
his right now. EJ's in our chat room doing
Okay,
his
so-
right now.
Well, no, he isn't. He's watching this while it's happening.
Thank you for pointing
Okay,
that
well,
out.
I'm glad.
God damn, you're good at this. God,
yeah.
you're a good
Okay,
father.
so
I'm so bad at this.
So based upon last year, I told the story on the show. Remember, I couldn't spell Max's whole name or whatever.
Oh, my God.
And
I wouldn't have said it twice. That's just me.
I maybe shake the teacher's hand, whatever. And then
God, I had a teacher shake my hand yesterday. It was hard as fuck. She's like, good.
and then literally never saw them again. You know what I'm saying? Like Crystal talked to them, whatever.
I like the
usually
Zoom.
one
I like
parent.
the COVID Zoom. I like that.
I saw.
Hi, hello.
I saw the emails come in, never read them. Like if something was going wrong, I'd be
Wait
like,
a
all
minute.
right, hold
I
on, what's
thought
going on here?
I was the I don't care guy. I thought
No,
we
no.
established that on the last wife
No,
cast
I'll-
that I'm the one that truly doesn't care.
Now, if have a kid that maybe has some bad behavior or some other issues, maybe you want to go in and meet the teacher and kind of establish a rapport so that because they're going to be calling you and like, hey, Jimmy's
I want to get in front of this.
Yeah, he's sucking it again. I don't know what kids
He's sucking it.
I mean, kids
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
imagine that teacher. What do you got to do this afternoon? I got to call Jimmy's dad. He's sucking it again.
I mean,
it's a terrible job.
His thumb or the markers or the glue stick. I don't know. And all I'm saying is if you have a normal standard, right? If you just got the mid-range.
This is Principal Dennis. Your son is sucking it again.
You don't got the best, you don't got the worst, you got the mid-range, and the majority is the mid-range, right?
Yes.
It's like he's not the top 5, not the bottom 5.
No matter what.
Yeah. So most people that are listening to this, including us, have the mid-range, right in the middle. Like they're not causing it, they're not sucking it again.
The normals. They're not sucking it, and they're not not showing up.
And they're not a genius where you need to be like, hey.
This is not called an exceptional time for Tom and Dan.
It never will be.
They're just
and
normal.
That's a guarantee.
So,
but it's not the sucky time with Tom and Dan either.
That's true.
I understand one of the parents going to meet the teacher, like in whether it's mom or dad or whatever works
Haven't
out.
I done this and you've given me shit for it?
Or maybe, but
it all runs together. Haven't I not shown up for a parent-teacher thing and then you've given me shit for it?
Well, that was when I went. I only give people shit of stuff that I have to do and they don't. But so I'm just saying, like me not showing up to meet the teacher is a nothing to no one. It doesn't hurt my sons in any way. The teacher doesn't care one way or the other. It's
I'm trying to
nothing.
figure out if I agree with what you're saying.
What would I have done today that would have made a
good job? That's great.
You are correct only because you are the dad. They really don't care if the dad is there or not. They assume right off the bat because it happened to me a million times. We'd both go, and then they'd turn to my wife and be like, "So what's your phone number to contact for like later?"
Oh yeah, that happened to me last year.
And I'd be like, "No, I'm sorry. She has a real job. If like here's my phone number. I'm gonna be at home."
You know what it is? You know what it is exactly? It is the inverse of going out to eat, and I'll explain. When I go out to eat, no matter what, when the check comes, it comes to me.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But when you go to parent-teacher, same thing happened to me yesterday too. Everything is directed to mom. Not complaining. I'm not at all complaining.
Thus, so as long as the mom shows up, they're fine, and they think that the contact has been made that needs to be made, and it's all well and good.
Now, what if...
I think teachers also understand that dads work harder, so we don't have enough right?
No,
because teachers are supposed to be smarter.
I walked right up to the line, and you jumped over it. I fucking love it, Dan.
I love it. But that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So, what if I go one step beyond this, and...
one step
beyond. That's for you, yeah. We're lined up today.
And none of the parents show up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Oh, we had a lot of that, too.
Do you want me to blow your mind? Advanced parenting moves. And again, Dan will tell you, like, I'm from the future.
He does good
and
on
everything I tell you is going to come true, and whether or not you believe it, the less you do, the better off you are.
Well, that's what I'm saying, okay?
Nope. Yep, you're edging towards it, Tom. Just like some of this financial advice Ram Davies is giving. You're like, you're right on the edge.
You've heard it. You're familiar with it.
Yeah, I listen to ACT.
This is the buy a boat of parenting advice. So, because I'm thinking, like...
For example, it's my son's senior year of school.
Yeah.
Jesus
and thus far, I've helped with some of the scheduling, but I haven't been to the school yet.
Nice.
He did media pickup, computer pickup. He got his own parking decal. He's handled everything by himself so far.
Yeah, though that's great.
Yeah,
he's
but
just showing responsibility.
But didn't you set him up with the skills to do that?
Yes, so we start with our oldest son, who like we would have dealt with the earliest. We were very hands-on, and then we evolved to the point where we're this kid. We're to the point we're doing nothing, and he is at this point, at 17 years old, a better adult than both of us. Basically,
Gotcha.
It's insane how like he can handle stuff.
Yeah.
In a world where like all I hear on the radio is like kids are taking their parents to job interviews and stuff. Like my kid is very feet on the ground doing stuff for himself.
Yeah. Well, I have a little bit of that myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't have to do much.
So what I'm saying is, if you have a standard, right, and not the best, not the worst, then it is a waste of time to go to meet the teacher at all.
If you're a dad.
Or mom.
Oh, you're saying
anybody
at all.
at all. Because what is being accomplished if you're like, you know, you go there, you meet the teacher, okay, you met this, like you're probably not going to change the teacher based on this meeting. Like, how bad could the teacher be where you're going to be, you know what I'm saying?
But
So
I'm going to say
you're not vetting the
but
teacher.
you're explaining a scenario that only works for you because Maisie wants to go to meet the teacher. So there's no, what am I going to have her just drop her off and let her walk in by herself?
Oh,
she
the
wants
kids.
it, definitely do it for her. I'd say the
Yeah,
inflection point.
she has legitimately picked out a dress, picked out the
Oh,
accessories.
she wants to
She
meet her. Okay,
loves
well,
the-
that's
yeah.
different. If she wants, because my kids could care less and were mad that we drove, like that Crystal
you.
took them out of the
I
house.
think
They're
that's
like,
the
oh,
norm.
God.
I think that's the
I'm
norm.
like, do you want to meet your teachers? They're like, we're going to meet them Monday.
That's
I'm
so
gonna say-
you. God damn, that's you. That's so Tom Van that both of the boys are like, we're going to meet on Monday. That, you know, that reminds me of
What
who,
is that?
Who was riding the bike down the mountain you fell?
Yeah.
That's
And-
right out of Tom Van's mouth.
And not only are we going to meet them Monday, we got the whole year.
to get to know him. We gotta get to- yeah.
And then I'm sure they would, and this is coming from me.
I'm not at all anti
like,
this, by the way.
The teacher would have less to do if less parents came to meet them. They're probably like, if I was a teacher,
Yeah.
and I have like 30 different parents meeting me, I'm just like, oh my God.
Okay, now I hate to
What-
do this. Don't at me.
Wasting
but
my time.
As I went last night to Maisie's Meet the Teacher, which he was super pumped about, picked out an outfit, her makeup, her hair was curled, the whole nine. When I walked in to meet her first teacher, because she's got two, she's got like a homeroom and then she switches classes. The teacher on her desk had a giant plate of like all this yummy stuff to eat, but she was having to walk around and talk to all of us. So I got to go with what you're saying. Yeah, they don't want more people there.
Yeah. Like I said,
They don't want to stay there all day,
Because
right?
even for the teacher, what does that do for them? Like, I understand the teacher
Yeah.
wants a parent that cares, you know, but as long as the parent cares during the year, then, you know, I mean, what are you...
I guess
like,
their pitch would be like it's an informal first meeting before we're into like the formal school year, just to give you a little, you know, taste of it before. But yeah, screw that.
Yeah, I bet you if you secretly polled, now a lot of teachers are not going to say this publicly because they don't want that, you know, but if you secretly polled every
Do
teacher...
you want to stay late one day or come in on a day you would otherwise have off?
but I
Yes or
wonder-
no?
Yeah,
I
like
wonder
if
if
no
the-
parents showed up and you got to take off, that would be good for
But
you.
I wonder if the answer is like, does it have anything to do with, because I can hear these people kind of echoing on the outside of this broadcast.
Yeah.
With just showing your child that these are the proper things to do. You know, because it's school and you need to take school, you need to take it seriously if you're going to go.
I
you're-
didn't have that when I was a kid.
See, I did.
You did?
I was locked in, and Andrea.
I may have had that.
Me
I
and
just
Andrea
can't remember.
both enjoyed school. Like, I was never an anti-school person. I enjoyed going to school. I never like woke up and was like, ugh, I don't want to go to school. I was just never that person. So like, I don't anticipate that Maisie's ever going to really be like that, because both me and Andrea weren't like that.
Yeah.
Here's
just
my
makes sense.
advice where to draw the line. When, like, what grade are Max and Tommy?
4th and 5th.
So I'm going to say draw the line. When you're like kindergarten, first grade, when you're going to meet the teacher that they're going to be like spending the whole day with, go meet that teacher. But when it comes to like meet the teachers, and it's like, go talk to their science teacher for a second. Go talk to their English teacher for a second.
Yeah.
Go
Like
talk
when
to their
Tommy
math teacher
goes
for a
into
second.
middle school.
And then go run around the whole school, talk to them each for a second. They each have a little spiel they run you through, or they sit you down in a group and make you wait until they run the spiel for the whole group. Instead of, that's when you cut it off. When you go from meet the teacher to like run around and meet a bunch of teachers, that's when it's worthless.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
That actually
I
sounds
don't-
okay to me, because I don't remember my parents going around with me when I got to like middle school and high school, and my mom was an educator, and I don't remember her even doing that.
Because at that point, you meet the science teacher, and the science teacher's like, hello, you're the parent of one of 600 kids I'm going to
what
teach
are they
this
about?
next
Right.
semester. And I'm also in my 15th year of my teaching career, so that's like a billion kids. I will not remember you. The second you walk out of this, you could commit murder. I wouldn't be able to verify whether or not you were in this room or not. It's good day.
So now, speaking of meet the teacher, Daniel, you told me that you had something that happened with Maisie.
Yeah, like we had meet the teacher, and May is she's really into school. Like, she likes things the way that she likes it. She likes things organized. She's a lot like, she's got like Andrea's organization, but like my anxiety and OCD, and I guess you put that together, and she's like, she wants things the way that she wants it. She's super pumped to go to meet the teacher last night. And I was actually kind of excited about it. I got done here, went
Sometimes
home.
there's cookies.
Yeah, you take a shower. You know, I put on. Maisie insisted that I not wear a T-shirt. She wanted me to wear a button-down shirt, so I changed.
Oh, I thought you wanted shirtless.
Yeah, she did want me shirtless.
Daddy,
I
wear
said,
the leather
no,
vest.
No, I don't want to go into my full pig mode in the school. So I wore a button-down shirt.
She actually wanted you to wear a different
swear
shirt.
on my life. Yeah.
My sons have never commented on anything I've ever worn one time. I could have left in Dukes.
I'll go
with
further.
no shirt, and then they wouldn't even notice.
I'll go
They've
further.
seen pictures of you in a bear suit.
I put on a shirt that was a white. It's like an Old Navy, like those stretchy Old Navy button downs that you could buy for like $12.
Is it that Yay Old Navy collab?
It was very old, and it was like it had little mustard bottles and little ketchup bottles on it. It's like a summer shirt, you know,
Sure.
for like a cookout.
Yeah.
And I had that on, and Maisie's like, "Can you wear a different?" She's like, "Can you wear a different one?" So I went in and got a different one that was like the blue one that I have with flamingos on it. So I wore that one. So
She was okay with that one?
She was okay with that, but
Okay.
she did sort of check what I was wearing. She asked Andrea what she was wearing. She picked out this dress. It was a purple polka dot dress that she really liked. She's like, "Oh, I finally fit in it." She had bought it a while ago. She curled her hair. She put on lip gloss.
Is this like first grade at a new school? Is she moving up to a new school?
She is same school, but moving up a grade, and now she's able to split classes where she goes to a homeroom, and then the teacher does all the subjects. I guess it's to get them ready for switching class.
Okay.
Is all I can imagine. So I'm doing my typical chirping thing, and it's the same thing that I complained to you about. Like, you've got to hate this when I'm just like making jokes all the time.
Yeah.
I
It's
think-
like a nervous anxiety or some sort of social anxiety where
Yeah.
you just have to.
I have to chirp.
Chirp. Yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
doing that. I'm sitting there playing College Football 25, waiting because Andrea's like, "Do you want to play a game before we go? We're early." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll throw a couple passes before we get out of here." And the games are really quick. So I load up one of the games. It's like a 4-minute game.
I do like how she treats you like a little boy.
Like a baby. Yeah, I get your.
Would you like to play a game before we leave? Whose wife tells him that?
Well, that was after my happy sauce.
Do you need to use the potty?
And so, well, no, she's trying to kill time. I mean, we could just sit there in silence, you know, and I can raw dog it. So I'm sitting there and I'm playing the game, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just chirping. I'm just doing I'm just riffing and doing like the things that I typically do around here. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want to go now. And then Maisie's like, really? You don't want to go now? I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm going. And I'm doing like that, so I'm just fucking around and just being stupid. And then May turns to me dead serious, and she's like, hey, don't embarrass me today. And I'm like, I'm not, baby. I'm like, I don't embarrass you. And she's like, just please don't embarrass me today. And then Andrea speaks up, and Andrea goes, Maisie, Daddy's never embarrassed you before. Daddy would never do that. Daddy has never embarrassed you.
Mm-hmm.
And Maisie turns to Andrea and says, well, he did at my big dance meeting I had before we went on vacation.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, what?
What was this big dance
Okay,
meeting?
remember the meeting where she came
when
in?
they bring out an example, it's always the
Remember
worst.
the meeting? Yeah, I knew you'd know. You've been on all these roads,
Oh, yeah.
dude. I'm getting goosebumps. Even that's how triggery I am. I'm such a fucking pussy, and especially when it comes to May. And I can't. It's hard for me to put my thoughts together. So then I turned to Maisie. I'm like, what are you talking about? The dance meeting? And Andrea's like, what are you talking about? He didn't embarrass you in the dance meeting. And I'm sitting there, and then I'm kind of going through in my mind like what I could have said in the dance meeting, and I do remember.
Oh, you stood up and you had full boner.
I pulled my pants down. Yeah,
You started screaming the N-word.
Yeah, it was the boner inward. No, I do remember.
What did she have a problem with?
I do like, be like, what are you talking about? And then just thinking a thought bubble comes up,
to-
and then it's you shitting on the floor, screaming, and you're like, what happened?
No, but I do remember. And just to explain, the big dance meeting was for this next season of dance. She did really well last season, but they like to plan it out. They like to decide what ballet classes you're going into, what hip hop classes you're going into, what ballroom, and then what levels, acro. Are you higher on acro than you are in ballet? Well, need to take your ballet down, take your acro up. So they're like dialing it in. They do
Shit,
it.
it's like video game sliders.
Yeah, it is like video game sliders.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
exactly like that. Like you got to work on the stuff you're not strong on.
Right.
Yeah. And so I remember being in there, and it's funny too because I had to like go back and like kind of go through the memory, and I think what she was referencing was when they started talking about May, and they were telling her, they were being very honest with her, and they're like, hey, you're good at ballet, but your attitude when you come in for ballet, it isn't bad, and you always do it great, and technically you do a great job, but we can tell on your face that it's not your favorite thing, and we really want to work on that because ballet is your foundation, and it's just, and I remember, and I almost just did it. I almost just did it again. I remember when that lady said that I spoke up and said, I remember doing this.
Bullshit.
I said, I know about that, and I said, May, what have we talked about? Because this is something that I've had a conversation with her about, and the example that I used for the teachers was the same example I used with Maisie, and it was me trying to make a point in front of them. I don't know why I was doing it. I don't know, maybe to make myself look like a good parent or something. I don't know. But I'm beating myself up about it now because I said, yeah, May and I've had this discussion about ballet, and she knows that, that your roots, like you have to do the technical things and you have to execute the simple things and the technical things well in order to get to the fun stuff. And I said, it's just like me when I played drums, I would drill my rudiments. I always drilled my rudiments. And now at that point, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I realized that was
doesn't she know you love doing that?
I love talking about myself. I chirped in.
But it's not the time for that.
Not the time for that.
Yeah.
And I see it. I see it, and I was just making an example, but I think that's what she was referencing. And
it may not even have been the time for you to talk at all.
Correct.
Just like let her.
Yeah, it's her thing. It's her fucking thing.
Let this teacher tell her the lesson she needs to learn and let her say, okay, got it.
Yeah,
great. I will accept that. And then you just shut the fuck up.
Because like me stepping in is almost like stealing her ability, that independence.
You're trying to help, and you're trying to like shelter her, but at this point, she's like, "No, let me out and let me do my thing."
And so, she didn't say that, by the way. I'm just going in my mind.
Yeah, and you nailed it.
And
this
I think
is what's
I got
up.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I nailed it. And then, when she said that, and she was like, she was like, yeah, it really embarrassed me. I had to exit the room. I'm so sensitive. I said, well, I'll be right back, and I had to go upstairs. And I laid on the bed, and I'd be lying if I said, I don't ever want to embarrass my fucking daughter, especially with something she loves so much. I fucking want to cry right now. No, I feel like a piece of shit.
But that's a small thing.
It
that
is.
You do.
I know that is.
But
you never want to be an embarrassment to somebody you love that much.
And more importantly, the reason you're not a piece of shit is because you thought it out and you figured it out, and now you know what you did, and now you know what changes to make.
God, I should have called you first.
If you just were like, what's her fucking problem? And you went and and just drank until you forgot. That's when you're a piece of shit.
And I really wasn't trying to make it about me, but we had the shitty part is that Maisie and I have had those discussions about like, hey, you need to know that ballet is the foundation, and if you can nail that, then everything else would be fucking cake.
And this is actually the biggest problem we had with my oldest son before we learned a lot of lessons is that we tried to make him be a little kid way too long. Like I did a lot of the same stuff, like tried to protect him from things that he didn't need protection from for way too long, and it caused a lot of friction.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's funny because like my sons, I probably should ask him. Do I embarrass you at all?
No, don't ask him that. Don't ever ask him that.
But I'm pretty quiet. But that's the thing. I'm so quiet.
I bet you don't.
Like I'm even when I went to meet the teacher, I said 2 words to the teacher.
You don't embarrass your sons.
Like I'm not overly talkative.
Honestly, I chirp around. I joke and I chirp around Maisie so much. And I had a discussion with Andrew about it last night. I was like, man, I might have to dial back my chirping.
You know what? You embarrass me daily at Publix when guests come. Oh my God!
I figured you might have something to say about this.
I gotta talk to Maisie about this. We'll be like, I'll sit down. I'll be like, hey, your dad.
Yeah, I'm just like you.
All that shit talking he does.
He never fucking shuts up. He's talking to the bag boy. He's pretending like he's farting. He's making a joke.
Yeah. Through 20 years of knowing him, in the elevator when someone comes
made a joke about that guy's pants yesterday. Remember the guy that had there was a guy the guy was like an apple, and he had on little skinny jeans, and I made some joke, and I think he heard me. I gotta shut the fuck up, man.
How good is it when chirping hits though? Like when you get a good chirp off, it's the fucking best. Like,
because
it's great.
When he finds another chirper, then it's goddamn magic.
No, sometimes you hit a non-chirper. Me and my wife bought a car the other day, and she was signing like all the paperwork. You know how you go through the stack of paperwork, sign this says that, this is a release of that, and he gets the one, and this guy's like a dry accountant, like just signing paperwork. He actually had, like a what do you call it, an hourglass. on his desk that
Yeah,
he like when we started he flipped and like he didn't say it, but he was clearly trying to beat the sands of time in this deal. So like not fucking around at all. So we're just going through signing and he goes, and this one just says that of your purchase we donate $150 to charity. Or he said it says that of your purchase and every purchase here at this dealership we give $150 to charity, and she signs it, and like as he goes to flip it, I said, wait, it says to Al Qaeda, and it just everybody blew up. My wife and the dude thought it was hilarious.
That's good shit, Ross.
Yeah, it was a decent chirp,
that's
and
good
it
shit.
worked. More importantly, like you guys didn't like it, but it worked in the room at the time, and it felt good.
Hold on, what kind of psycho car salesman flipping an sand hourglass visible to everybody? Like, hey, this, I have to get it done before this hour. Like, just glance at the clock and then be like, hey, I want to get this in about 5 minutes.
Do you think we wanted to be in that dealership a minute longer than we fucking had to? I was like, great, let's go, let's do it, dude. I was very about it.
Does he do it for the customer to say like, hey, I'll be?
Didn't mention it at all. I came in kind of late.
I bet you're right.
I was buying like a keychain around the corner when my wife got started, so I didn't. Maybe he did say to her like, "Hey, this is a personal challenge or whatever." But like, I just came in with the sand running, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it."
Yeah. But okay, so if he did it for the customer, then that's a psychological.
I don't know who it was for, but I liked it.
Yeah,
I did like it.
Why don't you start carrying your own sand?
You know what?
For anything.
That's a great idea.
For,
like
you go over to Publix and you go through the checkout line, just set your sand.
Yeah.
You order a sub.
Yeah.
How dare you? I'll buy you the sand.
I go sign into
what
the
kind do you want?
dentist, sit down, flip my
What do you
fucking
want? You want
hourglass
wood?
over.
But don't mention anything, because that will psychologically make them like, oh shit, I gotta hurry up. Like, the driller goes.
You'll really freak them out if you wear robes and do it. They think you're like magic or something.
We could get both on Bud K right now.
Bud K.
They 100% have an hourglass.
Yeah, with
percent,
a
I
knife off the
guarantee.
Yeah, that is
With a sheath.
that's a brilliant psychological way to get people to hurry the fuck up. Just an hourglass or wherever you go.
Also, by the way, like she was busy and I had nothing to do. It gave me something to do. I was watching the hourglass,
All right, let's take a break.
Yes, sir.
We've got a lot to talk about. I want to talk to Ross about selling cars on Facebook Marketplace. I've got a conspiracy theory that I came up with this morning. I want to run by you guys. It's kind of shitty, but I think it's a marketing conspiracy theory
that
happened. Anyway,
are we going to talk about Hogan?
We'll talk about Hogan.
I will tell you guys, I kicked 2 grown men off my lawn.
Whoa! Off your lawn?
That's an all-time high, man. All right. God,
Per capita per hour, it was a very...
It's the Olympics, man. I love it. The name of the artist is Kill Lincoln. You want some ska? I felt ska-ish today.
Yeah.
This is Kill Lincoln. The name of the song is I'm Fine, in parentheses, I lied. We'll be right back with more on Mediocre Time. 1-844-TOMNDAN show at TomandDan.com.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Squirt. Squirt who? Squirt is P. You dumb rednecks.
Right about now, you are listening to the incredible
A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, who kindly remind you that is P.
They say struggle is what makes you feel alive. That's a lie. They just busy trying to justify genocide. We gon' ride, we gon' roll, we gon' make them feel the cold. Put them out there, watch them fold. Can't return them souls you sold. If I had the chance to change, think I'd rather stay the same. Ain't worth playing all these games. It's a shame, yeah. Everybody hands in the air like whoa. Hit the death bar like one go. I've been waiting for a chance to explode. Ain't no telling when I get in that mode. I got murder on my mind, nobody gets out alive. They done stole from us since the beginning of time. Let it shine, I won't get back in line. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. I got murder on my mind, nobody gets out alive. They done stole from us since the beginning of time. Let it shine, I won't get back in line. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. Let's go. They not gonna like me now. Keep my boots down on the ground. In the chamber sits around, not a sound. Heard man, got my back against the wall. Ain't afraid to take a fall. All the haters let them talk. They know I give it my all. In the end is where you will see the truth. We the roots, here's the proof. Y'all know what I came to do. I'm in the booth. Everybody hands in the air like whoa. Hit the death bar like one go. I've been waiting for a chance to explode. Ain't no telling when I get in that mode. I got murder on my mind, nobody gets out alive. They done stole from us since the beginning of time. Let it shine, I won't get back in line. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. I got murder on my mind, nobody gets out alive. They done stole from us since the beginning of time. Let it shine, I won't get back in line. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. I got murder on my mind, nobody gets out alive. They done stole from us since the beginning of time. Let it shine, I won't get back in line. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. I got murder on my mind, nobody gets out alive. They done stole from us since the beginning of time. Let it shine, I won't get back in line. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine. I put a hit out on whoever be trying to take mine.
I was hoping they'd have a little run it a little bit so you could freestyle a bit.
I've never freestyled in
I know. Well, you have
17 years.
One time.
Yeah.
One time.
I kind of remember.
No one knows how OLE.
OLE.
Well, it's because you were passed out and Dan
Hey,
Cummins was
was.
sitting next to me, mad that he was
Yeah.
involved
If
in all
only
this.
Maisie was there for me
No-
to embarrass her. Oh God, if she could have seen that night, that would have really embarrassed her. Boy.
No, like, if you could show your kids video of stuff, you could really
If
embarrass
you're like
them.
Daddy now, you'll love Daddy. Drunk at the, ruining the night for Dan Cummins.
Yeah, when you asked, I thought the first thing I thought, I don't know if this is embarrassment exactly, but my kids were in the van when my wife came to pick me up after I got the shit beat out of me after D-Rug's birthday party.
Oh.
So they saw
The
me
whole
like
group.
drunk as hell with like a fucking swollen eye and all beat up and torn shirt, just hobbling into the van like, let's just get out of here.
Man.
They all
Wow.
saw that.
They'll remember that.
Oh yeah, no, they're scarred in ways. Yeah.
They'll remember the part of town you were in.
Are we doing? Is this confrontation?
I don't know. You guys are showing.
You want me to
Well,
line it up because you got the theme song.
I'm curious because someone is excited in the chat room that because
multiple people are.
They knew you had something going on with Facebook Marketplace. I'm a
What a
big fan of
fucking
Facebook
cesspool.
Marketplace.
Should I do confrontation?
I got you.
All right, here we go. Let's do it.
What
Confrontation of the week.
So, Ross.
Brought to you by Mo DeWitt from the DeWitt Law Firm. Come see, you can see Mo personally at the Mo Comedy Jam, 5th of September at the Orlando Funny Bone. It used to be the Improv. You might not have heard. They changed the name to the Funny Bone. A bunch of great comics come out. We got Rue Nafasat coming out. Self-proclaimed King of Fats, Austin Kleeman is going to be there. Current title holder of Florida's Funniest comedian Donald Evans is going to be the feature there. We also got Sabrina Ambra from the News Junkie making an appearance.
I've seen her.
Of course, headlined by David Jolly. You've heard him on Kill Tony. You've heard him on everywhere. He's headlining all across the country now.
That's
It's
a good
amazing
lineup,
that we
dude.
got him. And then some guy's hosting too. There's another host. That's how Bus Decker's advertising this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Hosted
literally
by-
blowing up like everybody from like Rue, who is great, but has been doing comedy for like 5 minutes. And like I love Rue, and she's gonna be hilarious, but he's blowing her up and like and
Little
then,
respect.
And there's a guy hosting.
Oh, Bus Decker's Bus Decker's a bully.
Is he?
Grade
yeah,
A.
yeah.
Grade A bully.
He loves it.
Yeah, he bullied me all vacation.
He looks like a nerd,
He
but he's
does.
really the bully.
You know
that,
why? Big ding dong.
Yeah.
He wrote a Facebook post the other day. I can't remember what it was in context to, but it was like defending something. I was like, hell yeah, Bus Decker. Good. I wish I could remember what it was so I could give him a true shout out. But
I think he was defending using the N-word freely.
that's what it was.
That's what I
Like
get.
it was like along the lines of if the Wu-Tang
In
Clans
your
can
favorite,
say it, why?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was saying it's a karaoke night. No big deal.
Right.
If I want to get up there and do ain't nothing but a G thing, that's the bus's prerogative.
Yeah. But singing along with the song. Anyway, so Ross, you attempted to sell your car on Facebook Marketplace, or let me hear.
The post that everybody saw was I was selling my old van, Gracie, who Dodge Grand Caravan. We did one of the first ACT go-tos
Great
Yeah.
van.
in that van
yeah.
like 100 years ago.
Yeah, it was about 10 years ago.
Why don't we buy that van and wrap it Tom and Dan and drive the shit out of it, dude?
What did we buy at the auto parts store for that?
You guys, it was
You
hilarious.
wouldn't let me buy any of the stuff I wanted
It was
to buy. 'cause
hilarious.
We're
Well,
we
always
didn't
on
have
a
that much money.
fucking budget. We don't have a huge check lately, buddy.
That was how you guys like sold it to me. Like we're gonna take you to the auto parts store and just like buy you a ton of crap and really pimp your van out like auto parts store. And then we got there and you were like, budget's $5. I swear to God.
I'm glad you remember.
Well,
I'm
I'm
with
not
Ross
buying
on this.
some goddamn chrome wheels.
How you just spit everywhere, and yeah, we wanted to buy.
We pitched like a fucking rubber steering wheel cover, and you're like, too much money. Too
We're
much
like,
money.
that's $22. Put that shit down. I'm like, come on, man.
So what we ended up, I don't remember, probably like an air freshener of some sort that's been long gone. But the only thing that remained was we got this little in like the stick-on chrome section.
Oh, yeah, I
we
remember
got this
that.
little chrome tag.
Decepticons.
It just said the word in black on chrome, special edition. So we just went to like the back of my minivan, wiped off one spot above where it said Grand Caravan, and we put this little tag that said special edition.
Was it still on there?
Oh yeah, that thing held on. Great, like through car washes, up to Pennsylvania and back a million times. That thing held
That
on.
makes me laugh so hard. Is it still on there now?
Did
Did you add that to the post?
We'll get to that.
You're like,
Oh,
special edition.
It
Grand
was in the
Caravan.
picture. I don't know if it influenced anybody. Like literally, somebody could have been in maybe. So the first guy kicked off my lawn. Okay. So Gracie was for sale, and also this little Lexus that we had, which like we were given.
Okay.
So like I didn't have much skin in the game on it, so I was really trying to get rid of it, and I couldn't get a nibble hardly. I'm like, I dropped the price drastically. Nobody wanted this thing. Way high mileage. It's running okay. Battery dies once in a while, but cute little Lexus. Anyway, so I'm mainly got a ton of nibbles on the van. And so the first guy right away I get a guy who's like, I think I listed it for 15 or something. He's like, what's the least you would take? Like they all say. And I'm like, listen, you walk up with $1,200 in hand, I will sell it to you. And so this guy's like, listen, I got $1,200 cash in hand, man, but I don't get off work until 5. I can come by your place at 6. I was like, great. but it's still for sale until then, homie. You know, like
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold it for you. That is standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
The Daniel doesn't know about this, but
No, I
Facebook
don't.
Marketplace,
I don't.
Like, if you,
I don't do any of it.
If you want me to hold it for you, I need a damn guarantee.
Something.
Like, you know,
Wow, he put a damn on that. That's how you know he's fucking serious.
Yeah, I need a like some sort of like, hey, here's a picture of myself. Here's my cell phone number. Like something.
How about here's a picture of my wife's tits?
Yeah.
What I was like, hey, here's a picture of my wife's tits, just to know that you know I'm not fucking around.
if you go to Facebook Marketplace rules, that is one of the accepted.
Okay,
It can't be loose. You gotta keep texting me like, hey, I'm on my way.
I
I'll get
like
off.
loose tits. I'm swinging them around.
So that nebulous, but from that point forward, I'm able to weed out like the real assholes by saying, listen, you're welcome to come look, but I got a guy coming at 5 with $1,200. So that's the bare minimum. So I'm like telling people that right away after that point.
Yeah, you could also just lie to people to make them.
It occurred to me.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
But I had
I'm like, some other guy offered me $1,500.
Oh, I love doing that. I love doing that.
And then the person's like, oh, God, all right.
He's
I'll
on his
match
way
it.
right here. I'm watching the dot. He's an Uber driver.
Yeah.
I'm watching his dot.
And then when people try to do it to me, I'm like, I know that's bullshit. I do that.
I'm pretty sure everybody assumed it was bullshit, like you're saying. I'm
But you
pretty
don't
sure.
tell them that, right? Like, you're not gonna.
No,
that's
no,
a little
no,
too
no.
brazen for you.
No,
You're not gonna say.
I
like,
just say thank
I
you.
know that's bullshit.
No, I
I'm
don't.
calling your bluff.
This is all stuff I say in my head.
Yeah.
By the way,
oh God, to hear that, and we will be able to hear thoughts. I do believe that.
I just
Hopefully
coincidentally that this kind of happened, and I stumbled across this awesome show called Carfellas.
All right.
You got to check out this show called
let me
Carfellas. Yeah,
jot
make a
that
note.
down.
What
It's
is
on
that?
HBO Max right now. There's only one season, which is the greatest crime in this universe, I believe. So like imagine that the cast of The Sopranos, like the actual characters in The Sopranos, got fat and gave up crime and started running a car lot instead.
Okay.
We call it in our house, it's called Carfellas, like Goodfellas. We call it Car Guidos because it is so sublime. It's amazing.
Okay.
So it's a bunch of.
Is it really
like,
old?
It's like 2010-ish, something like
Oh,
2011.
Chef's kiss. That's a good year.
And like I stumbled across it because there was a viral clip that went around of these two giant fat Guidos, one literally named Mario, having a fight where the one guy said, like, this is the whole fight in a nutshell. The guy's like, we're sitting there, we eating pizza across from each other, right? I eat my slice here, he eats his slice there. I eat my slice here, he eats his slice there. I eat my slice here. He reaches across the pizza and grabs my slice of pizza on the other side of the pizza. And the other guy's like, you can grab any slice of pizza you want in the box.
Hold on, I'm watching this shit.
I saw this clip online. I was like, what the fuck is this from? I need it in my life. It's Carfellas. But anyway, that's just so they run a car lot, and I got a lot of my negotiating techniques from them.
All right.
And one thing I learned from the Carfellas is don't be afraid to walk away.
Okay, all right.
And like you said, like I could just be bullshitting about this $1,200 in the future, but like in my heart, I know it's real. So I am able to act as if it is real. So it doesn't.
Okay, all
it
right,
really
all
doesn't matter whether it's real or not. I'm like walking away if you don't meet my $1,200. So the first guy that's like comes and looks and is like serious is this guy Brandon comes. This is his real name because he's a fucking prick.
All right. Hell, most Brandons are.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
That's why.
That's
That's why people are telling him to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, they affect the gas prices too.
They really
That's what
do.
I saw.
Brandon
get that.
Brandon comes, and if you know a Brandon with like a weird skin disease on his elbows, it's probably this Brandon because I can't imagine there's two of them in this town. So he's like, I'm taking it for a ride. I'm like, God, you fucking elbows, but okay. And so he gets in, and he's got a friend with, and this is how you know they're great guys. So like they rolled up together. They got a truck on a trailer that they're going to tow it away with if they buy it. And I have a number of lines out there, so I don't know. Brandon's looking at the engine, and his friend kind of walks up, but I don't know if it's his friend or another guy who like also might be on the way at any time, right?
Yeah.
So I go,
This is Tom's worst nightmare. Because you couldn't handle two at one time, right?
yeah.
So the friend walks up, but I don't know. So I go, are you with him? And he goes, we ain't gay, but yeah, we rode here together.
I rode this car, but I ain't pumping his ass.
Immediately, right off the
to a
bat.
great start.
And I just go like, no. There just might be more people coming. I was just wondering if you were interested in the.
Why are you gay?
You're like, sir, you're looking at a broke down van on Facebook Marketplace. I know you're not gay. but the fact that you're here.
To be fair, maybe these guys are from like Ocala and they just assume everybody within the city limits of Orlando is gay and is looking for gay hookups. I honestly don't know about these guys.
For the record, I have family outside of Orlando, and they do think Orlando's gay. So I just,
And that's the car dealer. That's the Guido's car dealership right there.
I pulled it up for
Celebrity
you.
Motors.
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
pulled
It's
this up
fucking-
just to give everybody an idea, because here's the. I think this is the pizza fight.
I got a question for you. Hope it's important. Last night, we ordered a pizza pie.
There was 8 slices.
Okay.
Amongst us 2.
So just so you get the visual, I'm sitting here.
Give your honest
Ian's
opinion.
Sitting here.
You're right in front of your 4 slices.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So I ate this corner. on
He
the
ate
left
that one
side.
first.
He ate this corner.
I ate
that
this
corner.
one.
Right.
He ate that one.
Yes.
Right.
I ate this one.
Yes.
Right.
He skipped that one.
Maybe I didn't want that. Maybe I wanted
He
the corner.
skipped that
I
one.
went to the corner.
Stood up and took mine.
Oh, I didn't stand.
Okay, yeah, this is awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that with Maisie.
It's so good.
I wish I was the boss of this place. I'd be like, get to work, fatos. The hell are you doing?
So should we start running this podcast? Like, you come around the corner, you're like, "Hey, you fucking fat bitch! What the fuck have you got done today?" And I'm like, "I'm editing the show, sir." You're like, "Hey, fuck you!
No.
Fucking edit those commercials, you fat sack of shit!"
You know what's great about this is that this show, they edit all the curse words out, and they give you a special disclaimer at the beginning, like one of the fat but muscular one, like gives, "Hey, we curse on this show, so get fucking ready." You know, like they give you
Yeah,
one of those
I like that when they're like,
but they bleep out most curse words, but for some reason they don't recognize the word jerk job as a curse. So these guys just say, "You're a real jerk job." We're like, "Get out of here, you jerk job!" Like constantly.
Yeah, let's call each
Like they
other
can't
jerk
say
job.
they go, "You're a piece of bleep," and then
freaking
you jerk job.
Oh,
It's
God.
so fucking funny. Anyway, that's enough about car Guidos.
Shut the front door.
So Brandon looks at the engine. We take it around the block, and his buddy, as we're driving away, he goes, "Make sure you get it up into overdrive. Like, get that, engage that transmission."
Hey, make sure you engage that overdrive, and hey, we're still not gay.
So on the block, like around my house, like in front of the Publix on Orange Avenue, Brandon's trying to go from 0 to 60 in like a block.
Oh, he's running times.
And then he screeches around the corner, and we do another like a block and a half, and he gets it to it, and I can tell he's excited. He's like, because it runs pretty good for his minute. Like, I don't know why. It hasn't been running good for us. But it goes around the block.
I'll
I've
tell you
been there
why. It's a
too.
fucking special edition.
You cross your fingers, it starts,
Yeah.
and then it starts right. You're like, hey.
Hey. So every boat my dad sold was like that, I believe.
So we do a pretty good quarter mile around the block, and we get back to the house, and Brandon right away is like, "All right, $1,100 or whatever." I'm like, "Hey, listen, I told you right off the bat. Guy's coming at 5 with 1,200. He's like, all right, 1,200. And I'm like, "Listen, the guy, I told the guy I would kind of hold it for him at 12. If you would do 1,250, just beat him by like a hair, I would feel more comfortable with it." And he's like, "Nah, 12 right now. I got 12 cash right now." And I'm like, I appreciate the time. Sorry to waste your time. Tried to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake my hand. And I was like, but yeah, I'm gonna
He
wait.
was holding a gun.
Oh, you're letting a deal slide for
I was like,
$50?
I'm just gonna wait for the guy to come at 5.
That's a dangerous game, right?
And I'm like, "Thank you." And I just turn and walk away. I go into the house, and I was like, "What's up?" And I explained to her, and she's like, "You fucking idiot! Go get that 12 right now! Like, he's here with 12. You can't wait for this fucking guy at
You're
5 that
validating
may or
Tom.
may not
You're
come with
validating
5."
Tom.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
my wife is Team Tom 100%. Apparently,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
There have been other
But now
times
you
when I
did-
think they've aligned themselves.
But you did say to yourself, if I don't get the price, I'm walking away. Big fat Guido.
So I run outside, and they're driving away, and I have to wave them down. And the guy, the one who has declared that he's not gay, rolls the window down.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm
Still
like,
not gay.
"Hey, listen, I'm really sorry, guys. This is on me. I went inside. My wife says I'm a fucking idiot, and that I should take the 12 right now. If
Wow,
you guys
okay. Hey, you did the hat in hand. Let's get this done quick. Yeah, all right.
hat under my feet,
Yeah,
dude. Like,
if you're
I mean,
saying my wife says I'm an idiot, let's just get this
Oh,
done.
yeah.
You're defeating. You're admitting defeat to get what you need.
and the car Guidos like to say, I'm dropping my pants here. I drop my pants fully to the ground for this guy, and I'm like,
I'm taking a fucking pumping.
I'm like, yeah, I'm very sorry. I will do the 12 if you guys still want to do that. And then the guy who rolled his window down goes, "Seems like it's 11 now."
No.
Oh shit.
Oh, he Guido'd you.
Oh my god.
Oh, he Guido'd me so hard the linguine fell out of his nose, dude. Like he said that, and I said, "All right, thank you, goodbye." And I turned and started walking away, and the other guy goes, "Wait," and then he's like, "I got it. I 12. And I was like, "Okay, great." Great. And so we have reached an accord.
Well, this is rough.
I like what you are where you were first at.
For a lot of trouble.
Right, yeah.
There was a lot of driving away. You
So
were.
much.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Just to end up
You go inside,
right
so
where
you
we
talk
were.
to your wife.
Mhm.
Is this why you do like path of least resistance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This seems like a lot of resistance.
Yeah, there's a lot of resistance here. Yeah,
A lot of
rise.
pants off
Rise of the
resistance.
resistance, I would say. Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, so Brandon, come on inside. We'll sit down and fill out the title or whatever, and count the money. And so we come in. My wife's desk is like, she was working from home.
Yeah.
Desk is like right inside the front door. We just sit right at her desk. And I get a pen. I get the title. And I'm like, okay, so just to start, like, I have to put your name and driver's license number right here on this part that I mail in. And he's like, well, it's going to be for my sister. And I'm like, give me her name and driver's license number. He's like, well, I don't have her driver's license number right now. I'll text it to you later. And I'm like, well, you understand if you don't, I'm on the hook and I can't send this paperwork in about the car. And then it's still my car out there driving. He's like, I'm going to text it to you later. And I go, well, but you understand if you don't, I'm on the hook. He's, but I'm going to text it to you later. And I sit there and just kind of look at him for like a minute. I'm just looking at him, and there's no words exchanged between us.
In your house?
At my wife's desk.
This is rattling me, dude.
In my house.
Well, I believe that the only responsibility you have or are connected to is your license plate. And the actual car, like you just, because any car I ever sold, I just put whatever name they tell me and I'm like, you put the number, whatever. I'm like, yeah, have fun.
But he wasn't even going to do that, Tom.
Oh,
he
okay.
wasn't, he didn't have the number. He didn't have any number. He was going to provide it to me later. So he gives me a certain amount of money. I give him the title and the keys in the car, and I'm stuck with this little slip of paper I have to send into the government, but I'm lacking one crucial piece of information. And if he doesn't text me, what do I do at that point? I don't fucking know. I drive to Ocala to find him and his sister and try to find her driver's license number. Suddenly, I'm on the hook for like.
Impossible.
So at this point, I stared at him for a minute and like I'm not gonna say again like the same thing. So I go, I guess we're at an impasse. I'm sorry. And he's like, you're a fucking kidding me, right? And I'm like, this is like, and please feel free in the chat to tell me I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know. I could be completely wrong about this. But in my mind, the one thing I have to do is collect this little bit of information and send this piece of paper in. So if he won't even give me that bit of information, we're fucking done.
So
Chat room is saying, you believe wrong, Tom. You can obtain the car, not switch title, run people over, never have registered, leave the car. It's on you, the current owner.
If I don't send that little, send that
correct.
little tag in properly filled out,
you're
I
right.
still own the car.
Yeah,
That's
you're right.
me saying I've sold the car and it's gone from my name. That's the only way they know that.
well, I've
there isn't one person disagreeing with you.
So
Well, yeah, that's by the book. I'm just telling you, and this is probably wrong. I've never turned in a title to anybody.
So I feel
ever.
more comfortable.
I mean, like,
I feel more comfortable in my situation, my decision than
I
ever.
got screwed one
I
time.
even did with Sam when I gave her my mom's car. I
Yeah.
did that and gave her and then I took a piece and then she took.
You
the
send
thing.
yours
did you
in.
do
It's not my
anything?
car anymore.
Yeah, I
You
think
sent
Andrea
it-
sent it in.
Oh, okay.
The top
I've
of the
never,
title.
Yeah.
I've never sent in a title
That's
before ever.
Yeah,
hilarious.
I think I had to
With
because
anything.
it was still in her name at the time.
Well, usually when you sign over the title, I thought like whatever they do. I did get screwed.
If they do it, though, Tom, if they don't go to the title office and get the title in their name, it's still titled in your name.
It is, but it's titled under the license plate number that you took because it's your license plate. So once you take the license plate off, like the car, the VIN number, I guess, is still under
So
your name.
now
but-
you're adding to your crimes that you're committing with that car, driving with an illegal license plate or whatever. They're going to steal a fucking license plate, too, and drive your goddamn titled car around. You know.
Yeah, but if they have their license plate, what is that? Like, I don't think it'll ever go back to you.
Chat room saying, person bought my car, didn't register it, got towed. I had to pay to have the car destroyed. Wow, I don't even know how that.
There's a little tag at the top, and that you send it in. That's how they know. And so, like,
Yeah.
I look at the guy. I'm like, we're in an impasse here, and he's like, "You're fucking kidding me, right?" I'm like, "No, unless you can give me a driver's license number that I can send in." And no, he's like,
So based on what you're saying, if you have done what you've said, which I believe you, then everybody that you've sold things to is re-registered in their name. So there would be no problem.
or
The
they've just
only
been driving
problem
the
would
car
be-
around and not getting an accident.
Right. The only problem
Yeah.
would be if somebody didn't do anything and it's still registered in your name, which
And then they get in an
yeah.
accident and flee the scene, which happened to me this goddamn week, by the way. And they just leave the car there. The cops are going to come looking for you because that's your car.
And I don't think they would. They'd look for the person's driver's license is on the license plate on the car.
Which is stolen. So when that comes back stolen and they can't find anybody from that, they're going to go, who's the owner of the car? That's still you.
Yeah, but then I tell the
Oh
cops,
my fucking
I
God.
You don't like being wrong.
I understand, but if you
Yeah.
send in a piece of
All you have to
paper,
say is, that's okay. All right, okay, I get it now.
No, you send
You
them,
send
if you
in
do
it-
the right thing, then
This
it
never
never
happens,
happens.
see, yeah.
But
There's a lot of Jesus
I'm not on the
comes.
hook for anything because they're not going to be like, well, you are the murderer because it's your car.
But at the time, they will be looking. We're not talking about actualities. We're talking about they will be looking for you because you are still listed on said car.
and the other thing they can do
yes,
is
it will shake out.
if you don't fill it out properly, they can do another sale and then just act like you sold it to this third person and skip the tax on their end. And then you are complicit in a crime at that point if they get caught and they try to trace it down and everything.
It is the proper thing to do.
Or you can send in this little square paper and none of this can ever happen. So I'm very focused on that fact of I would rather that be the fact. So I kicked this guy out of my house. And like he's walking across my line. I'm like, you got here and the first thing you asked me was like to see the title. You didn't trust me when you got here, right? Why should I trust you now? And he just keeps saying, "You're a fucking joke, man." And I'm just
You're a fucking joke.
I'm very
man.
sorry, but like you're asking me to trust you, and I'm just not going to do that. Do you trust anybody? He goes, "I don't trust nobody, man." And I'm like, "So you understand me, right?" And he's like, "You're a fucking joke, man." And so him and his not gay lover drive off, and and then so
they started kissing. Like, come here, baby. That'd make me feel better.
I'm
If they
back
were
to
gay.
Facebook Marketplace looking for another. And then so the next guy who seems serious, cash in hand, $1,200, no problem, man. He's like, listen, I'm coming down, but I'm coming from Daytona. Can you hold it for me until I get there from Daytona?
Sorry,
like,
no Daytona sales. Thank you.
I'm like, what's the ETA, homie? And he's like, I'll be there in an hour and a half. I was like, okay. And this is all going through Facebook Messenger, right? Like we're messaging each other in Facebook Messenger. I'm sending him words, and he's responding to my words in Facebook Messenger. With no problem, it seems like.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll hold it for you until 1:30. It happened to be, and I won't have anybody over to see it until then. Until you come to get a look at it, if you've got cash in hand. So he's great. So he makes the trip from Daytona. He gets to my house, and in my driveway, I'm like, he's looking at it, and I'm like, and just by the way, it was it was a recent problem. You are going to be the purchaser, right? And you have your driver's license with you. He goes, okay. And I'm like, do you speak English? He's like, oh, no. And I'm like, we've been talking in English in Facebook Messenger. So I go to Facebook Messenger, and I'm like,
Use a translator.
I'm like, okay, we've been
I didn't say
translating
that, by the way. No one
through
would do
Facebook
that.
Messenger, whatever. So I'll go back to that. So I go to Facebook Messenger, and I type in, like, you are the purchaser, and you have your license. Is that correct? And he looks at his phone for a minute, and he goes, okay. Like, he suddenly can't talk to me in Facebook Messenger, and he
Some
also
people
doesn't
clam
speak
up.
English.
These new kids, these millennials, they don't like to look you in the eye. They can't talk to you.
Old fat guy, weird old fat guy, and his profile picture is like a young teen girl,
Yeah, a lot of old fat guys do that.
and his name is Joni, and I assumed some chick named Joni was coming, but he's like, no, it's me, Johnny. Johnny.
Johnny 5 is alive.
That is, by the way, is the most communication we have, because at a certain point I'm like, is this your Facebook Messenger? Like, am I talking to you? And he goes to show me on his phone, and he has like a Messenger app open, and it's got like a number of names. There's like some guy named Michael in there. There's Johnny in there, and there's like, and he's like, yes, this one, and he goes to the Johnny account, and like, so I'm like, okay, answer me in there, and he's like, okay, and so I'm like, nope, nope. And he's like, what? I'm like,
You're like, nope.
I'm just not doing this. Like, we can't communicate. Like, the very first thing is a problem.
You don't like it, Johnny?
There's going to be like
You're racist.
4 more problems along the way. I know that. And we're not going to be able to talk out any one of them. So, like, just go the fuck back to Daytona.
Oh,
This
did
is-
you say it like that?
What does
Get
it
the
matter?
fuck
He doesn't
out of
understand.
my country.
He doesn't understand a word I'm saying. I'm just like chopping my neck and going, no. Like, you know. And then,
No, okay, no.
so he goes back to his car, and his like lady friend who's with him gets out.
That's
and I'm
Joni.
like, and I'm like, wow, the picture differs wildly. And so I go, oh, great. Do you speak English? She's like, no. And I'm like, well, I don't know why you got the fuck out of the car then. So this is done. We're done. No. And he's like, I drive all the way from Daytona. He can say that all of a
Oh,
sudden.
yeah.
He can say, I drive all the way from Daytona. And I'm like, yeah, I waited the whole time you drove. I turned down like 90 fucking messages in Facebook Messenger about this goddamn van because I was waiting for you to drive from Daytona. I know how long it took you to get here, bud. And so like I started eventually just like shooing him. I'm like, go, get out of here. And so like I go back to my house after a long time. I have another guy on the way, and I'm like, eventually, I'm to the point where I'm going to go tell him, get the fuck out of here. There's another guy on the way. He drives away. A minute after he drives away, 2, 3, 4 minutes after he drives away, I start getting messages from Joni again in Facebook Messenger, and he was like, hello, yes.
Piece of shit.
Hello, yes, it's me. I am purchaser. I have license. And I'm like, what just happened? And they're like, and he's like, he just keeps coming back with weird answers, and I'm like, are you Joan? And that's when he's like, it's Johnny. I'm Johnny. And like, and it kept getting weirder, and I just keep going like, no. And he's like, I drove all the way from downtown. I'm like, no. And he keeps messaging me, and then eventually I go like, why are you messaging me now, but you couldn't a minute ago when you were in my driveway? And he didn't message me after that.
I got scared. I scared.
He didn't send me any more messages after that.
So no more. You still have the van?
No, that was just my end of interaction with Joni.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's still
the chat room wanted to weigh in and tell you that this sounds like a tedious, horrible nightmare. Selling this car.
Well, that's like, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, but you've always been preaching. You tell me the
well,
tales
what else
of
are you gonna do?
You have to throw it away.
This isn't even like approaching the tediousness of it, because these two are like the cream of the crop that I've weeded out of hundreds of messages, most of which are just, hey, is this still available? And I go, yes, and then never hear from them again. And then the next level is like, I go, yes, and they go, what's wrong with it? And then I send them what's wrong with it and never hear from them again. That's hundreds of times.
Now, this is a horrible nightmare because Ross wants to do things the right way. You see what I'm saying? Like, well,
I can see your frustration the whole talking about the top of the paper. This guy's head was about to fall
I'm serious. Me and Crystal, I told the story on the show probably 15 years ago or something. We sold, remember that green Camaro that Crystal's mom gave her? We drove around for a while.
I always thought Crystal would be driving it around with her tits out. I always thought she'd be driving that around with her tits out.
We had like a 1996 green Camaro.
You drove me around in it to somewhere and we smoked in it, right?
Yeah, the passenger seat or door didn't open, or when it got hot, it would.
You could sell that thing to the car fellas right now. This is exactly the kind of car they're looking for.
Green. Remember when they came out with that green that was like a popular, cool green?
I met some Brazilian kid. I told the story in like a parking lot. I forgot what parking lot near OBT. And the kid,
it really doesn't matter. They're all the same.
I didn't even know. Like, he could have been under 16. I'm pretty sure he was. Like, he had.
You've had a lot of interactions with under 16.
He gave me cash, and then like I gave him the title, and I'm like, here, write your name on it or whatever. He didn't speak English very well either. He got in the car, peeled out, and took off. And then I made the joke to Crystal
awesome.
as we're driving back because I had the license plate. I'm like, I bet that kid didn't even have a driver's license. We laughed, and then we got home, and that was easy.
You want to go get some tacos?
If I would have like started hounding him about his papers or whatever the fuck. Like, no way the deal would get.
You're a fucking joke, man.
Listen, Tom Van gets the deal done on Facebook Marketplace.
He's the closer.
You show up.
He's the
whatever,
Facebook closer.
Title, no title, criminal, no whatever.
You sound like the car ads. Title, no title. I'll make it work.
Like,
I'm Tom Van.
Like, you're shoving someone back in the trunk that's obviously tied up. I'm not gonna tell. I'm like, I just want the deal done.
Let him die in there.
Like, I'm not gonna ask any questions. Some guy, I remember when my Crystal's old GMC truck that was all like, they crashed. Remember, because I was looking at memes, and the tires were balding.
You passed out, almost hit a tree.
No. I rear-ended some lady because I was looking at memes, and it was raining and the tires were bald. Anyway, so
he slid into some old bag.
And so then, like, there's oil leaking. Some guys from Kissimmee showed up. They didn't speak any English. They came. They were like, trying to negotiate with me. I'm like, I'm sorry. So I did the lie. I'm like, someone else is coming.
Yeah.
And they're going to give me 50. Yeah. And they're like, all right, fine. They gave me the money. I just gave them the fucking title.
Yeah.
And I didn't even, I was like, yeah, because in the Facebook
you let them drive off with everything you own in it and your tag.
Do you feel the need to put the correct number? Because I would put $1, and that says like a tip of the cap to because that just shows me I hate the government. I don't want to screw you, so $1.
But they know that's fake, right?
You piece of shit.
No, apparently the government, there's no way for them to, and I've learned because I've talked to
for any but any time anyone
Yeah.
puts on anything $1, it's fucking fake.
yeah, but they have to take it. But that's
I don't
the government has to take it. They know it's fake and they know it's a lie, but they can't investigate it. There's no way for them to.
In my experience, when you go pay tax, tag, and title, they just go by the Blue Book value that they have established. They have like a database of how much a car should cost, and that's what they go by when they charge you tax. It doesn't matter.
Can you imagine if he finds out the $1 thing doesn't work? Can you imagine?
Hold
You're
on.
killing his dreams.
You can put. That's why they don't
put
care.
$1.
That doesn't fucking matter. They don't care what you can put $1 million. You can put $1.
Oh, the chat room saying they fixed that loophole. The
Yeah.
whole it started.
Otherwise, everybody would put. Everybody would put
I
one.
did it for the Brazilian kid.
Everybody
Well,
would
it
put.
would have worked then.
Well,
it would have worked then.
This was like 2000. I mean,
This was
10?
yesterday.
no, whatever the third. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe-
Otherwise, everybody would put 1 penny every time. No, it doesn't matter because like so. I get at this point, I kick this guy off my lawn, and then
Jesus.
just to simplify my life, I go through Facebook Messenger, and everybody who has started with Hablo Español or their name is Jose, I just delete.
No,
So like
that's
immediately,
racist.
I'm now
That's Facebook Marketplace.
because I've been very
You are
egalitarian.
eliminating 99% of your customers.
It was literally
This is
85%.
Florida.
No, it was 85% of the messenger gone.
Yeah.
And
That's it. That's all there is.
It's liberating, right? When you clean that thing
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I
Honkies
just
don't do it as much.
They don't.
so, and at this
And
point,
I'm a honky. I don't do it.
I kind of decide like fuck this shit, and I engaged with WeBuyAnyCar.com or something.
anycar.com.
We buy anycar.com.
That's a scam.
Eddie, we buy anycar.com.
So I'm
Or
like,
the other one. What's the other one?
They'll give you $700. Half the price.
Give me the VIN.com. It's as easy as you do it in your underwear.
especially the Lexus, because like I started like I think like it's like Blue Book's like 2 at the lowest, and I started at like 15 and just kept dropping. I'm like, I got so desperate, I took out a Craigslist ad for $5, and I think I listed it at $850 on Craigslist, and I'm still not getting any nibbles because it had like 250,000 miles. It's like so high mileage.
Dude, we could buy this and wrap this thing, and Tom and Dan, Pussy Mobile.
So the Lexus, I'm like, I'm $5 in on advertising on it, and no nibbles even really on it.
And it's $850.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a car $1,000 or under should sell all times, right? Because
I kept getting like, is it still available? And then be like, yeah, but don't forget, real high mileage. There's some kind of issue with the battery. If you don't run it often, it drains.
Chat
and,
room
like,
says you should scrap it. They say you could get like 500 and scrap, and they'll haul it off.
so that I'm engaging WeBuyAnyCar.com. I'm gonna see what they say, and then like a junk guy. That's literally what I'm down to on the Lexus at least, because like I'm just done with fucking around. And I decided to take one more swing at maybe the van, because there's even like I get rid of 85%. There's still dozens of people who are like, I'm ready, man, cash in hand, just let me know when. And the only reason I think it's taking so long is because I'm bringing them one at a time. I don't want like 5 guys on my fucking lawn all fighting with me, or like all telling me my car's a piece of shit, or whatever's going to happen in that situation. I'm just trying to keep them one at a time. So like I go to the next most likely guy in my mind, and I'm like, come look at it. He's like, all right, I'm 20 minutes out. Great. What a refreshing amount of time to wait. So I smoke a little bit of weed, wait for this guy. His name's Maine. He shows up.
You
he's
say
like,
you had a Junie and a hey man.
that's another thing about Facebook Marketplace. The names are weird.
Yeah, you told me that. You did tell me that.
I'm telling you, try to sell something.
And
Didn't your
weird.
wife sell some pants to some lady named Grunch? It was like some weird name. It was like her name was Grunch.
They're the most odd names in the world.
and he shows up, he wants to take it for a ride, so I look at his license. His real name's Romaine.
No, okay,
Like
all
the
right.
lettuce.
Oh,
like
I
exactly
see.
spelled like the
I
lettuce.
will say it's my favorite
Yeah.
type of lettuce.
Yeah,
I'm
it's good
not a
stuff.
microgreens guy.
I'm an iceberg guy, but I like romaine.
I like iceberg on a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People with odd names shop on Facebook Marketplace.
It's a fact.
So romaine shows up, and he's looking at it for a second. He's like, yeah, he's got a big Infinity going. And he's like, I like that thing, but too high the gas mileage. I'm looking to get this for my wife, drive the kids around. I'm like, you might not want it for like these reasons. One, seatbelt's chewed out. Like, I'm like trying to talk him out of it. He's like, all right, well, there's a thing on the there's a sign on the dash. So he goes gets the goddamn computer you plug in. I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. Like, maybe he wants a fixer upper. So
He's stealing the car's soul. He's gonna leave you with a soulless car.
fuck, is that
Use
what
a
they do?
computer to pull the soul out of it. And there's nothing left in there.
Fuck, Gracie has mostly soul too at this point.
Yeah. Just
so like, I'm
memories.
like, at the point I see the computer, I stop trying to talk him out about it. I'm like, whatever, dude. If you know what you're doing,
Yeah, if you're plugging something into it.
Takes it for a ride up and down the street, and I think he has the same experience as the other guy. Like, this is better than I thought it was. And so we pull back up to my house, and he goes, all right. What's the deal with the Lexus? I'm like, yeah, that thing's for sale too. And he's like, how about such and such for both of them? And I'm like,
We buy any cars.com.
He sounds like one of those guys, right?
and I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like I go back to I got a guy coming for 12 for this and
So
5.
you're doing it again. Just be done with it.
And so we car Guido back and forth for a minute, and he kind of bottoms out on like I kind of want 12 for Gracie, and I'm like I could scrap it for 5. I could get 5 for it, just call it a junkyard. But in my head, I'm like, that's a whole nother fucking thing, though. I gotta do.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, more people.
The
and then
least
more, yeah,
resistance.
and then if you're filling out lots of paperwork.
And then so he goes like, how about this? Okay, like we'll do you 12 for your van or whatever. I'll do 4 for the Lexus, and like I'm gonna go get a trailer at the U-Haul around the corner, and I'll have this shit off your lawn like now. And I'm like, that's what my wife actually wants. Like I don't think she cares if I get $1 for the fucking thing. She wants like the driveways free and clear of these like juddering pieces of shit
just get 'em
that
outta
we've been
here.
driving around for 20 fucking years, and we've ragged the fuck out. And so I'm like, at that point, I'm like, yeah, sold. And we fucking no problem with the title. We get right through that shit. Counts out the cash. I go into the kitchen and discreetly check it against the light and make sure it's all real.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Look for the
have to,
strip.
dude.
Look for
There's
the strip.
too many fucking like those movie prop replica bills out there. You cannot take a chance. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Spielberg.
I'll be goddamned. He went and got a trailer. He took the van. Came back like an hour later. Got the fucking Lexus. And good day, sir.
Hey, man, it's a good ending.
I could not believe I sold both of them to one guy. It was like and legitimately, Tom. So fuck you. All it took was a Herculean amount of effort, like literally way more
You could've
effort.
got it done
all the resistance.
weeks ago.
Oh.
There's like a business of buying like shit cars and then flipping them somehow. And there's people that do it for a living, and then they'll just go search Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and buy.
And they know the ones to look for.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And I'm not sure what kind of money is in that or what they're flipping it for. If they're making like a couple $100
Me
a
and
car or
Romaine
some
ended
shit.
up. Me and Romaine talked to him for a little bit, and like he is just a guy who has a certain. He talked to my wife for longer than me because he's studying to be an engineer.
Oh, wow.
And she is an engineer, so they were chatting about that kind of stuff. And then she, like, the Lexus was her project car for a minute. Like, every weekend, she'd go down to the junkyard and get a piece off a fucking dead Lexus and put it on this Lexus. So she had a whole, like, notebook of shit she'd done. So they went through all that shit. And he literally he was looking for a van. It's a little bit ragged out, but fucking cheap. Fixed up for his wife. Perfect. And the Lexus, he had one when he was a kid. And for $400, what are you going to fucking do? So like
CMC
he was like,
looking for a Lexus SUV, like a late model. Like,
so he's like, for like the next 3 months or whatever, I'm just gonna be. First of all, I'm gonna vacuum all the dog hair and sand out of these motherfuckers because like it's bad in there. Vacuum it out, and then I'm gonna fix everything like point by point. He just is like a meticulous man and wanted some cars.
I wonder, remember we talked about putting electric motors when you were doing your scooter.
Wait, an electric motor that runs on pudding?
No, into
the pudding electric motors are
oh my god,
hard to find. They only run on vanilla.
Like into old 4-wheeler.
It's
you know,
too big.
and
giving your dad some strawberry pudding.
There's a Mercedes now that they took like a classic Mercedes, the ones that the one that has the flip up doors.
Yeah.
They're like James Bondy.
Yeah.
Look, they took one of those and then they took like Tesla motors and retrofitted it, and I think it was a partnership of both brands working together. And they did it, and it looks freaking. But like you see it all the time now. Like
because
mine was just the tip of the iceberg. People are doing it all over the place now.
Well, what I was saying is like imagine you have some old '90s Hondas and like Honda Accords that are just everywhere. Like
sweet CRX.
Yeah, all these.
Oh, that was such a cool car.
Old cars that are their motors are done, and to put a new motor is insane or whatever. I wonder if the electric motors would ever get to a point where they're cheap enough where you just have some mechanic and just slap an electric motor.
in a 90 Corolla.
Then you have the car and stuff. You just need a power source, and then you plug it in or whatever.
The
but
drivetrain's the problem, right?
Damn, an electric Delta 88.
Like
insane. I mean, but like
all it needs to do is power the axle. Like if you figure out the way to hook the electric motor up to the axle, maybe.
When you go back far enough, it also has to move like 2,000 tons of steel. Too, And then you look at a Prius, and you look like you could lift it off the background with one hand.
Luckily, though, like a lot of, at least my car is super heavy just because of the batteries, so they're kind of made to push a lot of weight.
Well, that's the thing. You need to put the battery battery somewhere, which then now you're taking out the gas tank, and then you're so it's a whole big fucking.
Well, that's the main
hassle now.
problem in my car. Why they can't put 3 motors? It's like you run out of room at some point.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and you just can't do it.
So I got rid of these pieces of shit, and we were looking at getting another one, and we looked at a Prius. Does every electric car go?
Yeah, sadly, I think they have to.
Pat.
Well, when you're backing up, you mean
No.
like go? Oh no, mine doesn't.
No, it sounded like a fucking tea kettle, like the
No.
whole time it was going. It was
I don't
wild.
hear anything when
Okay.
I'm driving.
All
No,
right.
no, it's like
It was an
it's-
older one.
It's dead silent. You know who was the biggest Prius person was Jim Phillips, man.
Oh,
Loved
yeah?
his Prius. Ran it into the ground. Friggin' loved it because he had like the hybrid. I'm a big fan of that too. Like the ability to do both. Like you're using like electricity around town, but then you want to take a long trip and you can gas it up. That's badass.
Yeah, I mean,
you can go anywhere.
Shit, every brand's got an EV now. My buddy Alex, when we were in Colorado, he got a rental car that was an EV.
Oh yeah.
And I drove it one time to the store, and I'm like, "That's pretty nice."
Yeah, not bad.
It's like,
Golf cart.
It's all this, it reminded me of your Tesla, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's got the big ass screen. They're all kind of mimicking each
I
other.
really want an electric motorcycle, but that's one thing that's like not coming down in price. They are still very
popular.
expensive.
Yeah.
They're so
Very popular.
God, the throttle list or the just straight throttle of it all is so.
Some of the
No, it's
Cerons
insane.
have actually
Fast.
Oh,
gone
it's so good.
up in price. Like it
Yeah.
was cheaper to get them, but like when Turkey Leg got them,
Right.
Yeah.
he got in like early and they were like reasonably priced. Now they've got so many different models and the technology is so much better and the battery tech is so much better and they're amazing. Like they are literally
I want one
like
bad.
they're crazy cool, man.
All right, let's take a break.
Yes, sir.
When we come back, I want to talk about the Hulk Hogan thing.
Oh God.
I'll tell you about my conspiracy theory.
Oh yes.
And we've got maybe a couple emails we could read.
Yeah, we got emails, we got voicemails. The name of the band is Nova Charisma or Riz, right? Is it Charisma Riz?
Yep.
This is Nova Charisma. The name of the song is Smoking Gun at the Metropolitan. Sorry. We'll be right back with more on Mediocre Time. 1-844-TOM-NDAN. Show at TomandDan.com. We will do emails, so drop us a line.
You're listening to the industry leader, radio guys turned podcasters. And now the whole town is sucking our dicks.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to lick our balls, bitch.
I'm sick and tired of playing the game. How did you get my number? How is it you get to say a load of shit means nothing to me? Shut the fuck up, no caller ID. Coco, don't want it. Coco, don't want it. Coco, don't want it. Coco, Coco, Coco. My hair is breaking from tearing it out, listening to you. Stop calling. There is a million reasons to why I just couldn't choose. Just please stop calling. Okay, I'm done with taking the mic. How long before you use another one of your tricks? Don't wanna buy it, that I kinda sure. It's bad enough without you being a bore. Shut the fuck up, no caller ID. My hair is breaking from tearing it out, listening to you. Stop calling. There is a million reasons to why I just couldn't choose. Just please stop calling. My hair is breaking from tearing it out, listening to you. Stop calling. There is a million reasons to why I just couldn't choose. Just please stop calling. Please stop calling. Please stop calling. Come tonight, I will defy it. Let my machine make you wanna try it. Dial another, my ears have been smothered. Let me recover, let me recover.
Oh my God. I'm going to sneeze live on the air. My allergy been crazy lately. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Ross McCoy on the couch.
So, real quick, this is my conspiracy theory, and it's not really a conspiracy, more of, I bet he did this for, like, or a publicist told him to do this, or he came up with a plan.
I mean, we're seeing this a lot lately,
Are
right?
you like me? You think RFK actually killed that bear and it wasn't a lady in a van?
Oh, my God.
Is that
There's
what
a
we're going on?
cartoon that I saw this morning of RFK just sitting there, and he's, like, talking to a shrink, and he says, and that's when me and my friends killed E.T. with hammers. And I laughed and laughed. Holy shit, that's funny.
Yep.
Hold on, remind me who RFK is. again.
He is one of the
Robert
Kennedy kids, like not JFK, but JFK's brother Robert Kennedy
Oh,
had a
okay.
kid, and
Yeah.
that's this kid now. And he's
Running for president.
He's married to Cheryl Hines, Larry David's wife on Curbed.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of
okay.
beloved by a lot of the comedians that you think are right wing that like to talk
Yeah.
about politics, like to kind of cozy up to him.
You're kind of Hollywood right wingers like
Yeah,
him.
they like
He's
him.
like a nice alternative to like Trump for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he came out with some pretty outlandish.
He has he does raise a lot of good points. I'll say that about him. But he also is fucking Kennedy, and therefore just a baseline maniac.
He does have that maniac.
Do you know this story at all?
I don't know politics at all.
Well,
This is not.
this
This
politics.
supersedes politics. So anyway, this is real quick, and I'll let you get back to your thing.
Yeah.
This guy running for president right now. 10 years ago, when he was 60 years old, he was going falconing with a bunch of friends, and he was running late. And his story is he saw a lady hit a bear with a van and kill it. He killed a bear with a vehicle, threw it in the back of allegedly my theory that
He put it in the back of his van.
not a lady
Yeah.
with a van, but I think personally
I
that
agree.
he hit with his vehicle. And then, but the indisputable facts that he agrees to is that after the bear died, he threw it in the back of his vehicle.
And it was a bear cub, I believe.
It was a smaller bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was a juvenile
Who
bear.
ran over a bear cub and he put it in the
Somebody.
back. Why?
Yeah.
Why would he
He
put it in the
wanted-
car?
he
That's
wanted-
what the world is saying.
He later wanted to skin it and then freeze the meat for later consumption. That was his story. So he puts the bear in the truck or van or whatever, goes falconing for the day, goes out to dinner with a bunch of friends. Dinner runs long. He doesn't get a chance to go back to his mansion. He has to catch a flight. So he can't do what he wanted to do with the bear. So instead, he pauses for a second by Central Park, throws the bear into some bushes, and then throws a bike on top of it that he also had in the van, because at that time in Central Park, a couple of people had been struck by bicyclists and killed. So he thought it would be a funny joke to like throw the bear in Central
This is
Park.
true story.
And I'm not making a bit of
And
this
it made
up.
the news. He
He
said.
admitted
He's
to it.
fucking around
And
It
he's
was-
like a frat boy.
It was a
he
huge.
said it made the news.
It was a huge news story at the time in
Yeah.
New York, and so he thought it'd be funny to throw a bicycle on the bear, like as if the bear had been struck by a bicycle and killed in Central Park, like some people had been recently.
Yeah. He's got my vote.
And so for the last 10 years, he hasn't said a fucking word about it. But they were gonna do a news story about how it was really him, and so he actually. To like complete the trifecta, he sat down with Roseanne Barr and did a video about it.
Got in front of it.
To get in front of it. Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, I do not think that unqualifies him for being president.
No, he's still
I
got
think
my
anything
vote.
goes now.
He's still got my vote.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Definitely anything goes.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
anything goes.
I think all three of us are on that side.
So-
No, that definitely is a hilarious prank. And he's got my vote.
So, with the Olympics, so the Noah Lyles, you know that, Ross, the guy who he won gold at the 100 meter. He's the new fastest man on earth.
I honestly got to only watch ladies track and
Yeah,
field. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Well,
but-
it's track and
Pervert,
field.
I like that.
So this person, he won the 100 meter. He won it by like a fraction of a second.
and then he beat up a chick or something. I haven't really been following the news, but I've kind of had an ear.
And then he's been talking about how he wants to win the 200 meter as well.
And then he broke his cardboard bat.
Because I believe Carl Lewis did that
Yeah.
back in the day, and he wanted to be
It's very prestigious.
yeah, to win both the short distance runs. I guess it more legitimizes you as one of the best.
And
Anyway,
if you do it with the runs at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's even
Tom
more
does
so.
that.
and everybody projected him to win, and like I think he was a favorite to win, and because he won the 100 meter. So anyway, so he goes to run the 200 meter. I didn't see this. Crystal told me she was watching this while the boys were getting their before school haircuts, school started haircuts. So she's in there in the barbershop, and then she's watching the Olympics on the TV because every business has the Olympics on, which is cool, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
like it.
and I think the customers just have the Olympics on. If you're a business, I'm telling you that's key.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, so she's watching it, and she sees he comes in third. And after the race, and before she even knew what had happened or whatever, after the race, and I think it was a while before it came out, he was, he laid on the ground. He was great. At one point he was Crystal told me, she was explaining to me he was pulling his race shirt
gear off
After the race?
After the race,
Mm-hmm.
he was
It's hard to find the video of it because they cut it right after the end of the race.
and he was obviously in pain, and then something was wrong with him. Then they wheeled him off in a wheelchair, right? Like the medical team came and then like got him in a wheelchair and wheeled him off.
Does he also play for the basketball team? Because this is standard basketball behavior.
Well,
This
that's
would
exactly
not
what
be-
Tom said.
That's what Crystal said.
Yeah.
Where like
Wide
wide
receivers,
receiver,
yeah.
when you miss a catch, you are like, oh, you grab your hamstring.
Sure.
And then
Or like a
miraculously.
soccer player, you're out of position and somebody bests you, so you fall over like you have a hammy.
And
you
then
know? Yeah, I get
Crystal
you.
was like, "Is that happening?" So then it comes out that he had COVID, and this, and I was like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, he was diagnosed with COVID," which actually is to me more impressive. That he got bronze, like he got third place in this race with COVID. That's
pretty awesome.
You know, so anyway, but then I read in the story that he knew he had COVID 2 days prior. It wasn't a surprise, right?
Really?
So he knew he had COVID and he decided to race the race anyway, which there's no like stipulations. I guess
Is there not? Because he's on a track with other guys breathing real
No.
hard.
No.
It seems like
no.
that
Well, I think
would
that.
preclude you from.
No, I think Paris. I think they announced that we're not doing any like if you have COVID, you can't participate or whatever. Some people do whatever they want.
Yeah,
and
I haven't
even-
seen any of that going on, really.
No,
Yeah, Paris is like, you're jumping in our poo-poo water river. Like,
Yeah.
what could be worse than
Always
that?
making people sick. Yeah, it was,
Oh,
the
yeah.
river, people
Oh.
like getting out of it and throwing
and
up and shit.
at this point in time, like everybody's vaccinations or whatever. But anyway,
I like a good polluted river story, and like the scene and the Thames always come up, dude.
you
It's
saw the
the-
video of the guy puking, right?
Oh yeah.
it's so funny.
no, I've been ready for this for months, man.
So then, again, I was like, wow, that's pretty damn impressive. He still got third place with COVID or
Yeah.
whatever. But then I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. Did that crazy exertion of energy and like that race cause him to have some sort of like reaction after the race? Or because then I was like, it made sense. Like 2 days prior, he probably did warm-ups and stuff. Like if he really had that bad of a reaction, like maybe he probably wouldn't have run, or like he could have probably got third. So then I started thinking, like, I bet you, like, he had plenty of time to prepare. Like, he knew the race was coming up, and he decided, obviously, he was still going to run it, right? Because it probably, he's a guy, he's one of the best athletes in the world.
Sure.
He probably wasn't that affected by COVID, if it may be a minor cold or maybe no symptoms at all.
Dude, but representing your country, I feel like you step down, let somebody who's fully healthy step up and maybe they take home the gold.
I think he probably was still the fastest
Even
guy.
sick, he's
Even
better.
sick, yeah.
Well,
Like
also-
he's
better
really
than the
good.
next best
Also,
guy.
He's
I'd
the
also like
fastest
to
guy.
add he's arrogant and he's not the guy to step
Right.
down. He's not. That's not going
So-
to happen. He's not that guy.
Yeah, but then so I started thinking, I was like, I would do this if I was him. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna run this race, right?
Okay.
I got COVID, I know that, and it'll be shown. I could tell people that after, because it didn't come out before the race. Like, oh, he's racing with COVID. Like, obviously, he didn't tell everybody.
No, because I would have said, well, just like we all
Yeah.
did here, naturally.
Half
I was like,
of
why
people
is he racing with COVID? Are they
Immediately,
allowing that?
It would have
Right.
been a huge
It's
controversy.
a normal
immediately.
question to ask,
So
I think.
I'm sure and like these athletes, especially like you're the fastest. Like, look what Usain Bolt did with like when he.
Hussein Bolt, the cross between Saddam Hussein
sorry.
and Usain
Usain.
Obama.
Bolt. He's the fastest dictator on earth.
Usain, it's
Usain.
all the same.
Do you know his kids' names? His kids' names are Lightning Bolt.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No.
fucking
Yeah.
right. I swear to look it up.
Yeah,
it's
but-
fucking awesome, dude.
But a lot of these guys, you win a gold in the Olympics, you could parlay that into crazy marketing deals with big companies
dude.
later on.
Wheaties
Like
box.
it's
Hell,
tons of
yeah.
money, right?
Mhm.
So it's important to, obviously, your publicist. For sure, he's got a publicist team.
So do
and
you
he
think it was the
calculated?
Well, let's call it a flop. It's a flop. You're flopping.
Only
You're making it's the epitome of like me in here editing, and you're like, you almost done in there, buddy, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm really working hard
Now-
here, and it's so easy for me.
No,
Instead of like celebrating the fact that you did win third place, you're kind of making an excuse for why you
Yes.
lost gold.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is bullshit. You should celebrate
But-
your
but it-
achievement and not try to mitigate your losses.
But it is
as an
brill-
Olympian. That's bullshit.
But it is brilliant because all the stories were, oh, he got third because he got COVID, and everybody's like, oh, that's the reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Even
And-
the chat room said third place with COVID's a second place medal all day.
but
I actually agree with that
no,
math.
but what if he had no symptoms whatsoever? And
That's how Andrea was. Andrea was running.
Yeah.
Andrea ran
and
with
there was
COVID. She worked out.
To me, it's black and white. If you think you can run and you choose to run the race, then you accept the outcome. If you think you're not well enough to run and it's going to affect you running the race, you don't run
So
it,
you're no
and you let that
excuses.
next person.
So-
it's one of those two things
no
in my mind.
excuses. Alice
Bullshit.
in Chains, jar of flies.
Fucking man in a box, dude.
Or you decide, you think to yourself, like, listen, it's not affecting me that much. I still have a chance to get gold. I still maybe could do it, right?
Great. Then at the end, once you've done that, even if your lungs are about to fall the fuck out of your body, you hold your head up and you walk out of that stadium and you collapse out of sight of the crowd.
Yeah. Or like maybe nothing's wrong
Vote
with
for
you.
me for the Olympics 2028. That's
And maybe COVID did cause you, because all it is hundredths of a second. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know,
But later, you feel better with COVID. He felt better or he wouldn't have raced.
yeah, so
He felt fine.
But so even if it did affect him, I'm saying that he probably exaggerated after the race. Like they wheeled him out in a wheelchair. Did they need to do that, or did he think if this will be the story about why I didn't get first, and it'll be better for my image and publicity by getting wheeled out?
Would you accept though?
Because I think he could have walked off and not got wheeled out.
Would you accept that he? It is for publicity, but would you accept him just doing it because he was talking so much smack about doing it and he couldn't accomplish it, so he's embarrassed? And it's just simple. It's not a publicity thing. It's more of like just a human shameful.
Nope, you got to walk out to the truck and pull your pants down and say you'll accept that $1,200. You got to take your shame, dude. You got to take your shame.
He could have decided at that exact moment to do it, but I'm thinking.
But it's less shameful, right?
He had 2 days to think of like, all right, what if I don't get first? I could always blame this COVID that I got, right?
Which is less shameful. Like going
and maybe
having
it
them
did
push
cause
you out,
him, you know.
right? Having them push you out in the wheelchair, everybody's like, oh man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm wondering if it was because I do believe that it may not have been his publicity or anything. I do believe that it could just be him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Feels
That,
like a
that he's
freestyle
just
move.
a sore loser because he's been talking shit, and then he got COVID, and then he really did try his hardest.
And
because of COVID, he didn't have that extra little.
And he probably had a plan. This is probably a plan he put into effect.
That's what you're saying.
Which is like you're planning to fail at that point. Of course, you're not going to win gold. Fuck you.
True. No, yeah,
I
it
say
does
this
go
guy-
further than that. Like a true champion would never have a backup plan.
I want him stripped of his medal. No Wheaties box. As a matter of fact, as punishment, his face is going on.
Yeah, I'm with
no,
you.
his
EJ
face
says-
is going on all the bagged cereals. All the bagged cereals at the bottom of the aisle in Walmart now feature this man's face.
Here's the thing: it doesn't even matter. The guy still got bronze, and he got
impressive.
the gold in the 100-meter, and he's the fastest human on earth. But I did when I saw that, I was like, this seems like he knew. Like, I mean, you just ran super fucking fast. You probably can get off the field without a wheelchair. Like, it seemed like you played it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's the story, because that's what a publicist would tell you to do. Like, because they would be like, this needs to be a story so that the America realizes and gives you a pass. Like, oh, and then you're actually kind of a
just
hero.
making yourself the victim.
You're like,
COVID got you.
You still got bronze, even with COVID. Like, that's how they spin it. I'm telling you, like, publicists, and especially at that upper level, because this guy could make $50 million off of being the fastest man on earth.
Well,
I'm
his
sure
career is just starting.
Usain
right?
Bolt
The
did.
third fastest man on earth.
No, well, he won the gold on the 100.
You're as good as your last one. You're as good as your last
You
one.
want to do some emails?
Yeah.
Let's jump into a couple before we get out of here. Yes, Ross?
I just wanted to let you know there's a guy in a top hat waiting out there. If you got, I don't know. If
Oh,
you
no.
have time
Yeah,
to get to him
no,
today.
no.
but-
I mean, I could. Yeah. Do you want to jump to him?
No,
or?
do some emails. Do some
Okay,
emails.
let's do one. This
He's
one
there
just,
if you need him.
This one just came in. This is from Yogi. What? This is a quick one.
Is it about picnic baskets?
A picnic basket. What's something you love that everyone hates? That's an interesting question. What's something that you love that everyone hates? I feel like we're on a first date.
I mean, Fortnite.
Really? Are you still playing?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. My kids love Fortnite.
I meant to ask you last time. Were they on Xbox?
No, well, they play it on Nintendo Switch, and then Max plays it on his computer.
That's
but
Xbox.
basically Xbox.
I think I can cross play with them. I got to get their names from you.
Yeah. One I forgot. Maxi Poo 69.
Don't say it on
Maxi Poo 69.
I will tell my kids Fortnite names. I don't care.
Tommy
You can-
420 N-word. That's the other one.
You
Yeah.
can talk to my kids online. I'm fine with it. I'm seriously.
Hey man, I listen to your dad on the guy. I listen to him on the show.
What are you gonna do?
Say
Hey,
inappropriate
what's
stuff.
your hey Max? What's your mom's personal cell number? I want to send her a dick pic.
She gives that out of there.
I know she does. I know she does.
Hilarious.
I gave out my number. Nobody sent me nothing.
Yeah.
I gave my number out
No
like
one
a couple
cares.
of shows ago. I just gave it out. Nobody, not even said one word.
Because
You know what?
our listeners are
cool.
Our listeners.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a random crazy.
They're like, I'm not gonna bother that guy.
You know, I heard this.
Once a day, I'm going to send you something from Bud K now.
Oh please,
And
I
once
would
every
love
day.
that.
Did you see the dart launcher?
A dart launcher?
Well, I know what I'm sending you tonight.
Yeah, send me a dart launcher.
You know, sorry to pivot, but
No, pivot.
I-
We're at the end of the show. We can do whatever we want.
in one of the podcasts I listen to, he's an old radio guy. He's about our age or
We're
whatever.
old radio guys.
Yeah, I know. And he was like going on some topic about something. He's like, you know, some of you listening out there like me. Some of you probably hate me. And then he whatever. And then I was like, nope. I'm like, no one's listening to you that hates you.
They
That
used to.
doesn't exist.
Yeah,
that's
used to be a thing.
That's a radio thing. Like, that doesn't exist in the podcast
Well, I
world.
think it can exist on the highest.
I mean, very, very, but not to
like
the
Joe Rogan has it. He has hate listeners.
And
big-
I will.
the audience is so big. Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
tell you, I listen to a lot of Adam Carolla when I need to get something done because, like, I know at some point he's going to say something I disagree with, and it'll just like jazz me up a little bit.
Okay.
That literally, like, especially driving. If I'm driving, I put on like a bunch of Carolla show because I'll be like, "You fucking idiot! You're so wrong about that." And, like,
You listen for
yeah.
hate?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that existed.
me going.
I honestly, because in radio,
And I'm like, 40% of the time I'm with them. It's fine. And then he gets off into some weird.
okay,
fucking
well,
tangent where
that's a
I'm like,
that's a
"No,
little
you
different.
can't pee in the sink, you fucking animal. Why are you defending that point? It's fucking an idiot. Yeah.
Because that's like, yeah, you disagree with some things, but
Yes.
like there used to be a time in radio because it was the only talk radio in town.
Yeah.
Like you listen to Rush
Let's
Limbaugh.
talk about pit bulls.
Yeah,
Let's
or-
light it up. Light up the phone lines. X666611.
That's pretty good.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are people that listen to podcasts they hate. I'd like to hear.
Well, I
it.
mean, it is still a thing.
It'd be
I-
weird.
I-
It'd be-
I
this
do-
sounds so odd to me.
Suddenly you get a bunch of email you
Like,
really don't
who's,
want.
who's searching out stuff that they're like, I'm not interested in this or what this
Well,
person
they're-
has to say.
They're
and then
not
clicks on
searching it out, but it's an age thing too, right? Like you would be more apt to do it than your sons would as they come up with media forms because it just doesn't exist anymore. Like you were in it, I was in it. Like I know what it's like to listen to a podcast like what Ross is doing with Carolla is really just he's just going to new technology, which is podcast, and doing the same thing he's done on radio. But I don't think our kids will do that because it's just not around anymore.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've never listened to one podcast that I dislike.
yeah,
Well,
but you
just to-
assume that because you do that the rest
No, I
of
know,
the
I know.
world
Your friends and-
and that's
Well,
not.
I want to know why.
But think about politics. People listen to political talking heads all the time, still on podcasts right now.
Do they
Some
listen to the political
sides
podcasts that they don't like?
Yeah, absolutely they
Oh,
will.
okay.
Yeah.
And like the
Why?
example Dan brought up,
I
like
don't know.
Joe Rogan. Like I don't like Joe Rogan as an interviewer or as a show host or anything, but sometimes he'll have a guest on that I'm like, I
That you
definitely
like,
I
sure.
want to hear that interview for sure, even though it's gonna be Rogan reading at a third grade level. I'll still listen.
Oh,
Right.
I read at a first grade level.
But you're
Not as good.
endearing. You're not. Yeah, you're not.
This is another quickie. Hey T&D, I'm like a week behind on shows, but are y'all still doing Shark Week? If so, I tapped into a story from me in college that I'd love to share, but no worries if y'all ended it. Thanks. That's from Kenny the Pervert. Are we still doing it, or did we kill it?
Well, a Shark Week on Discovery Channel already passed, and if we would have
And
done
we
it,
have to do it then.
it would have
I'm
been
sorry.
back in
Right.
July.
I'm sorry.
And so once it already passed, then I did think I was like, some people are going to be disappointed, but then
Yeah. We could have done Shark Week in July, but we missed July.
I think it kind of ran its course, right?
Yeah, if you make it to Thanksgiving, you can't have a makeup Halloween.
Okay,
You know,
that's
the time for
fair.
Halloween is past.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, are we going to go with another bodily function?
Okay.
We were going to do pee-pee or periods was tossed around.
You know what? Sometimes puking is good. Have you guys ever like delved into the puking of it all? Sometimes like people have good puking
We
stories.
could do.
but
I could
then-
judge that. I'm gag man. I could
Remember
judge
when
that.
George Bush puked on that guy?
Yeah. It
On
was
that
the
other
Chinese.
president?
It was the Chinese.
I think it was Japanese because they were eating
What-
sushi,
it was
right? I think they were eating
Japanese,
sushi.
Why didn't he
Or
puke?
was it dirty knees?
Why didn't he puke onto the floor in his own lap?
I think it was a quick puke.
It
Sometimes
happened.
You can't. Like when I puked into Andrea's car and I spray puked everywhere.
I was just like,
I could. I mean, you know me. I'm not gonna puke deliberately on her windshield, but I did.
It happened before he could react.
Yeah.
He like got he got like a little tickle from a piece of sushi or something, and it just went.
It's the best pukes. The best pukes are the ones where it just comes out like blah.
So here's my submission for Puke Week. This is Thanksgiving when I'm like 6, so like mid 80s sometime. I'm a little kid. We go to my grandparents' house for Thanksgiving, and like my family's poor. We're living in an alley in like outskirts of Pittsburgh. Like we're very poor at this time, so our car is tiny. I don't think it was the Yugo, but it was like a Rabbit or some kind of small vehicle, and we like gorged ourselves at my grandparents' house. Like huge Thanksgiving. We're on the way home, and it's Thanksgiving in Pennsylvania, so it's cold, and we're in this shit box of a car, windows all rolled up, like heater doing the best it can, but it's struggling, and my dad just keeps farting. Like he's laying like mega turkey dad farts. Just like he keeps ripping them. And
hot box the whole car out.
It's building up in the car. And like we're like a block away from the house, and my mom goes, "Listen, if you fart one more fucking time, I'm gonna puke. I'm not gonna be able to." And my dad's like, "Okay, I got you. We're right there." And he goes, "Brah!" And lays like another just grandfather fucking fart. And my mom, true to her word, just goes, "Brah!" all over the deck. She doesn't even try to be cool about it. She's just puking everywhere. And like I'm in the back seat, and between the farts and that, I start puking all over.
Oh my god!
I'm just puking everywhere.
I love it. I love chain reaction pukes.
And then we headed inside, and my dad had cleaned all that shit up.
This is like a Wonder Year story,
Dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's like the time I was lifting that Jeep top. Remember my Jeep? And
Yeah,
I was putting
yeah.
that Jeep topper, and I'm a weak little man, and Andrea let go of the Jeep topper, and I was just holding it myself, and I was like, and I couldn't hold it anymore, and my dick and balls blasted out of my pants because I was doing a split in some mud, so my cock and balls flew out of my pants, and then I fell into the mud, and then my wife started puking, and then that made me start puking. This is a fucking disaster.
Yeah, there you go.
All
Puke
right,
week.
One
next year.
more.
Mhm.
Puke week, that's got legs. One more. Hey, Tom and Dan, show question. Say you are handed a box containing every item you've ever lost. What would you look for first? If your first thought is something that you dropped, for instance, in the ocean or fell off a mountain, does that count? Is something lost if you know where it actually is but can't find it? Was a high thought. Hope you'll like it. Thank you so much, and I appreciate listening.
Well, I know we're like so. I had a watch that my mom gave me for graduating high school, and I lost it jumping off a dam at this place called Snowdens in Miami, and like we're jumping off into the water, like the Miami Canal, and it must have blown off my hand. So it's down there. Like somewhere, like
I don't think I've ever heard this story.
Most likely, I think I've told it before.
Did
and,
it hurt your mom's feelings that you lost her watch, or did you never?
The
tell her?
vans don't have that many people.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
That's a dumb. You know what? That's a stupid question, Dan.
I think she was like she was mad that I lost.
You lost your watch, you idiot.
It was like a month later after I got it or whatever.
Yeah, you lose things quick.
Yeah. And then
He already lost his one wheel. I got him.
It
You
didn't
wore
ma-
it for a month though. That was nice.
Yeah, it was the best month of his life.
But it's still technically down
Yeah.
in the
Most
Miami
likely,
Canal.
yeah.
because it's heavy
We
enough.
need a
It probably
magnet.
didn't get
We
washed
need one
out.
of those magnets.
And you're a scuba man now.
Just go down there and get
down
my
there.
Scuba for
graduation
your
watch.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
That's now you talk about a fucking adventure with your sons. We adventure to find my old watch when I was a kid.
What
That'd
kind
be
of watch
dope.
was it? Because Dan's right. We could maybe magnet fish it up. What kind of watch was it?
Yeah, a fossil or something like that. I don't know.
You know
what?
Like
When I was a kid, I had a decent fossil. I had a
did
cool
too.
little. I had a leather strap, and
I
then
loved my fossil.
the face was like a holographic globe. So when you looked at it, it looked like 3D and it was
Dude,
a
you
globe.
had one of the holographic ones?
It was sick, and I broke it playing basketball. Yeah,
Those were
it
the
was
good
fucking
ones.
bullshit.
I had the one with the guitar that you could see through it and you could see the movement.
Yeah.
It was like a
yeah.
guitar. Fossil watches were hot as
They
fuck
were
for a
decent back
second.
in the day, yeah.
Most of the shit, like, that's why I'm not sentimental, because my personality is I can't get attached to some physical thing because I will lose it or misplace it and it'll be gone. So then I'm guessing this is why I've taught my brain not to become attached to anything physical. so that I'm not disappointed when I lose it because I'm going to lose it or ruin it in some way. You know.
Let's see. Do you have one? I don't really have one off the top of my head. I mean, I
when you said ocean, the only thing I could think of was that we when we got one summer we got a metal detector, and we were like metal detector crazy. And in my front yard, we found a gold ring with like Masonic imagery on the sides.
Yeah.
And we were like, cool. And then like the next day, we found this little double-headed eagle, and it went on the fucking ring. Somehow, like we found the two pieces of this cool little gold ring, and I went to the jeweler around the corner, had him put it together with a little bit of solder, you know. And my wife liked wearing it around. She thought it was cool. And one day we went to like Lori Wilson Park, and she's throwing football in the surf, and boop, right into the ocean.
Oh man.
Yeah.
oh damn.
I've seen there a couple of my friends one time, like they lost. I think it was my buddy the Grizz lost his wedding ring.
I'm always terrified of that.
In a beach volleyball court or whatever, like in the sand.
Yeah.
And then one of my other friends found it. Like
Holy shit.
They all were like sifting.
Really?
It took them like 40 minutes of like sifting through, but someone found it.
That's
like
a prank. I like to do that at volleyball courts. I go there and I'm like, I lost my wedding ring. Do you guys mind? And they're all looking. I didn't lose shit. Digging around. I just do it so the girls will bend over. I can see their thongs. I can see their butts.
Yeah, like and then
That's a funny prank. I'm gonna do that.
Hilarious.
there's been like in Ripley's Believe It or Not, which sometimes I doubt the stories. I'm like,
Oh, we know.
I'm
You doubt
like,
everything now.
But there's a story about some guy losing his wedding ring and a fish eating it, and then him catching that fish.
Right.
You've heard that? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I call bullshit. I'm
But
like,
that's the kind of
nah.
stuff that, I if that
There's no way
happened
to
to me, I'd
prove
be
it.
like, I believe in God now, right? I would have to. If I lost my, and I almost did
Like-
when I was in the Cartacay River. It's 62 all the time.
Oh yeah, so your fingers get
and I'm
falling
in
out.
there all day, so my fingers got like they became non-sausagey. They became
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
regular.
That
human.
happened to me when I was swimming in cold water.
Dude,
it gets loose.
and my ring came off while we were at the beach, and I got it.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
Andrea's like, "You take that."
Yeah.
So she took it, put it in her purse, and I didn't wear it for the rest of the trip,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But my point is, if I had fucking lost that, and then I'm fishing in a trout, I caught a trout, and then we go to eat it, and my ring's inside of it, I have to believe in God now.
Yeah.
I tell my whole family, I'm sorry.
Right,
We're
yeah.
all going to church.
Yeah.
Every single, we're going twice. We're going Wednesdays
Yeah.
and Sundays, like real
is
good
insane.
Christians.
Yeah.
We're all Christians, and we have to do it.
I mean, at least it's some evidence.
Yeah. What has anybody else
Yeah,
got? I got the fish. And the ring.
The ring.
That's a lot. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like that's more than anybody else has, and there are Christians that would be stronger
So,
Christians than me that
hold
would
on.
have less evidence. I got the fucking fish.
Oh, look that up on Google
will.
real quick because it's in Ripley's Believe It or Not, and they say that they vetted all the stories, but how did
No, they say you can believe it or you cannot believe it. That's what they
He's totally
say.
right. He's totally right.
Hold on,
Yeah, they go-
Ripley.
Yeah, they do. They go, believe it?
Or not.
Yeah, or
'Cause-
is it a fucking bullshit story? Some drunk old man told you?
The last time I went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, they have all the same stuff, like that mirror where you like make goofy faces, and then you walk around and you look at the people making goofy faces from the other side. They have like all the same stuff as usual, and then they always put like one different exhibit in to shake it up a little bit, so like people have incentive to come back or whatever. The last time I went, the mobile exhibit was like a bunch of the letters that Ripley would get from people about that ended up as Believe It or Nots, and like people would write into Ripley and be like, hey, I dropped my ring in the river, and then 2 years later I was fishing and I caught a trout, and when we went to fry it up, the ring was in the belly, and like and here's the proof that and so like that, believe it or not.
Oh, so those ended up
Usually-
in some bullshit
usually
writing
it's-
stories?
Usually Ripley.
This one's not popping up as being real, man.
Usually Ripley.
and I
is-
want to help you.
My whole life, I believed it.
We'll do a follow-up. I swear to God,
And
we'll
that-
have to do
that
a
was
Fuck
like-
you, Ripley.
a lot of some of them like Ripley.
I thought it was like these are true stories
Now hold on, pause.
that we vetted.
Pause, because Ripley was like an explorer. Ripley was an explorer and a world traveler at a time
He's
where
a
like
fucking liar.
a lot of guys didn't like get away from their town that they grew up in, So like Ripley went out in the world and he did encounter like a bunch of actual real weird stuff. So a lot of them are things that he encountered and
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
this is weird to you in Nebraska, like. And so like, there's a lot of that, but he also like got just written a lot of letters where like, my dog gave birth to a nanny goat, believe it or not. Like, there's-
Well, that's not what I wanted. I thought the whole point of the book
My
was like,
dad's got 3 peckers, believe it or not.
I thought-
yeah, I
No.
get what you're
I
saying.
thought the Believe It or Not was like
No.
like certain like
you thought it was the name, like a catchphrase. You didn't think it was them actually saying, "Hey, you can believe this, take it or leave it."
yeah. But I thought they were like these are true stories that
They never said that.
that
They never
we
said that. That's
vetted.
real world.
No.
When they
You
go
can
true
be-
story.
I mean, they sound unbelievable, so you may not believe them,
'Cause
but they
they
are
are
true.
unbelievable.
That's why we put them in the goddamn book. It's not some you old man tells you a story like I lost my wedding ring and a fish ate it. I'm like, no,
And
you're
I caught
fucking
the-
lying, old man. There's no
never-
way that happened.
Did you never watch the TV show like back in the 80s, early 90s?
That's what I'm quoting. Yeah, I did all the time.
because Ripley would come
It's a little
on
ahead of your
before,
time.
and he would like explain to you. He's like, I acquired a lot of this information in a lot of ways, and I'm just giving it to you.
Yeah.
You can either believe it, and then he would go, or not.
Yeah, he would pause. He would
Just
pause.
some random
He'd
bullshit?
Say, he'd
Some
basically-
of it,
No, but
maybe.
he was
It's
telling
up
you.
to you to decide.
No, he was telling you. I mean, you'd have to be real dumb for the man looking in the camera to say, "Believe it or not." To not pick up on the not part.
Well, they built multiple museums of this motherfucker.
Yeah, and
they
they
look like they're upside fucking down.
I don't think they're museums.
That, by the way, Tom, not.
I don't think they're museums. I don't think they classify themselves as
I
museums.
think they do call themselves.
Yeah, that's
museums.
something. Yeah, I
'Cause-
went there as a kid. My mom. That's the only museum I went to as a kid.
Again, he did travel the
She
world.
took me there like it's the Smithsonian.
He did travel the world, and
That's what I'm saying. It's like the Smithsonian.
we drove
it's
to
the
St. Augustine.
Smithsonian for Kid Rock. It's Kid
really
Rock
is.
Smithsonian. It's not a real Smithsonian.
She took us all. We drove from Miami to
the
goddamn
bomb with the bomb. Believe it or not.
to St. Augustine, and she's like, "This is a museum." Ripples, believe it or not. We're like, "Oh wow!" And then I read all the stories. I'm like,
man,
"Oh,
the
they're all
fish, the
true."
fish with the ring. And then
it's a
I got the
museum.
book.
It's a museum of stuff a rich guy bought back in the 50s before there was the
curiosities,
internet.
right?
Yeah.
I don't say like if it's
Yeah.
curiosities, that's not a museum. Then you got like a squirrel where they sewed a fish head on it. He's like, believe it or not. It's like, well, that's bullshit.
Like, for example, like Ripley might have like an exhibit that's like, here's an Iron Maiden from the Middle Ages that was a torture device, or at least this is what I was sold as one. Like it could be literally anything.
Well, okay. Well, my whole life's a goddamn lie then, because I thought it was these are true, vetted by us, and it's it may be unbelievable, but it's true.
Tom's just been walking around like, Ripley, believe it.
Do you know that the fisherman caught the?
Well, then it's just a fucking museum of dreams. I go there like, here's some bullshit. Why is it even there? Here's a bunch of made up bullshit. There's nothing.
Yeah.
You're really fucking him up, man.
It's not
even valuable anymore.
It's not an unimpeachable reference source like the Guinness Book of World Records, Tom. It's
What's
Ripley's,
that?
believe it or
I
not.
go going to the goddamn Smithsonian. They're like,
Should we all go
Is
there?
that a real T-Rex?
Would you go with us?
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a cast of an actual
Ours
skeleton.
is. The one at the
Oh,
Science Center is. The
Yeah,
one
the
at
Science Center's a replica.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's a
knew-
replica.
Well, I knew they didn't. I mean, they advertised with us. I can't get a real one.
But
I thought the goddamn.
But they didn't lie to him. They didn't say like, "Hey, this could be real or it couldn't be real," right? They told us though this is a cast.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
a
it
big-
says it in the thing.
Yeah, it says it in the thing.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
I'm real
All right.
sorry, man. That shook you up.
All right.
Hold on now.
how
there
much
you
I
go.
do?
Yeah.
It does
Oh,
make
we
you
did.
wonder what other cultural touchstones Tom bases his life on that were just bullshit.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
like,
That blew the tears
My
out
mom
of
drove
my
the
eyes.
whole family up in our Gladiator van. And we get out. It's the first museum I've ever been to.
Like, this is a big day. He's got a bow tie on. Walking in.
We got him looking at.
Hi,
the-
I'm TC Van. I'm here to see the fish.
I stand next to the world's tallest man. I'm like, take a picture. And then the old man who has got no teeth, he can put his
Did you
lips
look
on
at
his
the
nose.
the world's tallest man? You're like, one day I'll be this to a little man.
All the stories, bullshit. Anyway. All right, let's get out of here.
probably should get
we
outta
don't-
here. Yeah.
We will talk to Ram in maybe next week.
We'll schedule because we need to schedule Ram because we have questions that are now coming in, and I would like to offer if I mean I'm sure you would be okay with it.
I can run out there and ask him. I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah. If you need a financial question answered, Ram Davesy is your man. Then you can send it to show@tomandan.com and we'll gladly get it to him. So.
Yep.
Anything else to plug? You got any shows coming up?
Oh, yeah. The 9-5 at the Funny Bone. Don't forget, come see the Mo Comedy Jam. It's going to be Austin Kleeman, Rue Nafsad, Donald Evans, Sabrina Ambra, David Jolly, and then some other guy's hosting. I'm not sure his name, like with his association. And then I also have a show. I got Dan, I got one of your favorites coming up. What do you want from us at Framework? That same coffee shop. They gave us a Friday night, Dan. It's going to be Friday night.
Good.
The 30th of August. We're doing What Do You Want From Us live. It's been fucking awesome every single time we've done it. And
Great.
I would really appreciate it if a bunch of you guys came out and voted for me to sing at the end of the show, because it hasn't happened for like the last 5 or 6, and it's starting to feel personal.
Okay.
So if you guys come out August 30th, the Framework.
You control the show. If you've never been, you get your cell phone out. It's the only show I've ever been to where you hold your cell phone and you get to vote for the jokes that you see. So if the show is bad, and Larry and Ross will tell you this, it's your fault. And that's cool.
It's always a lot of fun. People like voting for jokes. They like watching the graph happen for whatever reason. I don't understand it, Tom. A bar graph is happening, and people are very invested.
People are like high-fiving and slamming beers. Yeah, it's cool.
It generates more energy than the sum of its parts. It's a really good show.
So what's the percentage of real stories?
Oh, yeah,
versus bullshit? Is it 50-50?
Should we all go?
Is there 20% bullshit?
Well, you want me to ask ChatGPT?
Yeah. Say how many fake stories Ripley's, believe it or not.
Now, Tom, I know you didn't want to bring me in, but I happen to have a vested interest in a number of you might call them fictional museums.
Well, yeah, that is, you know.
Hi, by the way, it's me, Ram Davis.
Yeah,
Good to be here. Thanks for having me on Friday,
buddy,
guys.
so
I guess you guys
you.
were just going to leave me hanging on the fucking couch.
We're
huh?
sorry. We didn't mean to bump you.
Ram Davis, he does curse you guys. It's just he's always been on the radio previous to this.
He really wanted to get that fuck out. I like that.
And, you know, guys, people get mad if I don't do it, so let's just get this out of the way.
No,
Let's just get this out of the way.
I was trying to save
Let's
your
just
dollar.
go ahead. Get
I
this
saw
out
the
of
dollar.
the way. And I forgot to do it last time, so let's just double
No,
up. Let's do
no.
another one. Just right off the bat, get that out of the way. And the main reason I want to come in today, Tom, a lot of people don't understand the difference between gold, silver, and you keep calling it bronze. That's copper. It's
Okay.
always
Oh,
copper.
okay.
Yeah, copper's
That's the
big.
big three in my mind. In my mind, and I think in the mind of the writers of the Constitution and the Christian Bible, it's gold, silver, and copper. That's money.
All right, okay, all right.
And a lot of people have been asking me, for example, Ram, how do you make change with gold? You cut it into little tiny pieces. No, you don't want to damage your gold. You make change. It's simple. I can explain it real quick. We'll let you guys get out of here back to your families and your dancing daughters or whatever. It's the same as D&D rules. 1 gold is 100 silver. 1 silver is 100 copper. It's real easy, you guys.
Okay, all right.
Gold is 100 silver.
Yeah.
1 silver is 100
Equivalent
copper.
amounts, whatever you got. You got a gram of gold, 100 grams of silver, and then it does. People ask you, can it be one big 100-gram piece? No, it has to be 100 little grams of silver. That's the only way. If you're familiar with D&D, you have to have a pouch full of money. This is our classic pouch full of money situation. The coins go in the pouch, they jingle jangle, they're hard, heavy, loud. That's how you know. 100 silver, 100 copper. That's a gold.
I mean, since you're here, I do remember one of the questions, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah.
One of the questions from a listener came in earlier this week. I hope I don't butcher it, but it was very simple. It was, Dear Ram, is a chainsaw currency?
Is a chainsaw currency? It is loud.
Okay.
Chainsaw is one of
Very
the
good.
loudest things
Yeah.
on earth.
Yeah.
Is it heavy?
Can be.
I guess this that on a case by case basis, because you could. I have seen some light electric chainsaws.
Most
Again,
are, though, right?
but your electric chainsaw will be ruled out on. So we're gonna assume a gas chainsaw, which is yes gonna be heavy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's loud. Yes, heavy. Is it hard? Cuts through a fucking tree, don't it?
Yeah. Currency?
I think that's the money.
All right,
Yeah,
there you go. That answers your question. sir.
Boats and chainsaws.
Yeah. That's a good band name. It's a Florida country band.
And I know
Boats
we got to
and
get out of here. I don't get a lot of plugs. I just do want to plug. Rams. Boy, howdy! I'm grazing goats all over this town. If you see a goat in this town, it's probably mine. My new thing, though, I'm into house flipping. Help me out. Find me some houses. If you can help me find houses to flip, I'm looking for abandoned houses I can drive a back up to and grab them by the foundation and just flip them over. Because I've found when you flip a house in this manner, all of the money, the hard, heavy, loud stuff tends to fall to the bottom of the house. And it really,
So you're literally flipping it upside
any
down.
any house abandoned, or maybe the people are just at work for long enough for Ram to get in there with the backhoe and flip that house and find all the money and get out. I will pay you a percentage of the money. Thank you.
Do you
thank
want
you,
an
Ram.
answer to your question to make you even more mad?
Okay, yeah.
I forgot that's why I came in.
As for the exact number of stories in Ripley's Believe It or Not that are true, it is challenging to pin down a precise number because the collection has been continuously growing for over a century. However, it is estimated that thousands of stories have been published across various formats, including books, comic strips, television episodes, and exhibits in Ripley's, quote, auditoriums. That's what they're called around the world. So based on what ChatGPT is telling me, there's no way of knowing.
And thousands could be bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't speak for all of Ripley's exhibits personally, but I can assure you that the jackalope I sold him was 100% authentic.
So it's just as good as the God Museum on I-4.
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
God
sorry
damn
to
it.
disappoint you, sir. Is there anything we need to plug?
No, that's it. The Food Truck Fiesta this Sunday. Eric Merchman's going to be out, and that's in Sanford.
Yeah, man.
And that's from 3 to 8. And, of course, we have the Bad Business Beer Fest and Sofa and Suds coming up in November, the weekend before Thanksgiving. So we're gearing up for that. But it's a free beer fest, and the next day is the Sanford Sofa races that me and Daniel host.
We want to see you out there, guys.
Did you say free beer?
Oh, yeah. Come on out. Ram.
What is the largest container I'm allowed to bring?
You know what? You can bring a trash can.
And it's a sample cup. You get a sample cup.
He's a VIP.
We are a
He's
legal
VIP.
contract. I'm bringing a wheeled trash can.
Yeah, bring a wheelbarrow or something. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. We love you. For those of you that listen or watch, like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. That really, really helps us out. And grab our free app if you miss